And a wonderful Sunday afternoon to you, Dave Shannon, at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park as the Jammers come back home after a 5-0 defeat of the Elmira Pioneers last night, coming into the game with a mark of 29-13, 3.5 ahead of the Red Wings at 26-17, and now 7 ahead of the Elmira Pioneers. Pioneers at 22-20. Big win for the Jammers and a loss pinned on the Geneva Red Wings last night. Actually, yesterday afternoon they played that one. Onondaga wins it by a score of 8-6. And guess who's in town this afternoon? Yep, the Onondaga Flames are here to take on the Jamestown Jammers in this afternoon's Kids Day at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park. Before we get to this afternoon's game, we're going to get to know Connor Rule. Has been a vital part of this Jammers lineup and team. Catching, great throw out of a runner trying to steal yesterday in Elmira. Connor Rule will talk to us, and we'll also hear from Anthony Barone, get his thoughts on last night's game and look ahead to today's contest against these Onondaga Flames. We'll be back with that as the pregame show continues here on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Penswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Penswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Penswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Penswood.net Classifieds has it. Penswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally.
We're here talking with Connor Rule, the young man from Hays, Kansas, attending K-State. We see that purple is K-State drifting around in various accoutrements that you wear. Your chest protector is nice and purple, so you're sporting the colors of your college team. Talk about what's going on with you at K-State.
Well, I was a freshman this year. I was kind of the backup role in the catching spot. There's a good player ahead of me. He got drafted this year. I'm not sure what will happen there. So next year maybe in that same spot or may step up. It just has to depend on what happens with him. So, but overall, I really like K-State. It's a great place.
Did you get many at-bats this past season?
About 50. Started about 15 games, somewhere in that area. And, had okay year for a freshman year, and looking to go up from there.
So far, we're already into the season here, and you're with Jamestown Jammers. What do you think so far? How much different, obviously wood bat, but how much else different are you experiencing now that you're here?
A big difference for me actually is the humidity up here in Kansas. It's there's not very much humidity, and the ball doesn't fly here quite like it does back home, which part of that's also wood bats, but at the same time, the humidity plays a huge part into it.
Yeah.
The ballparks are all pretty big here, so that's a little different for me as well, but I like it here. It's not 110 degrees like it is back home, so.
Yeah, that's a break. That's a break for sure. One of the things we've been discussing with everybody is going back into your youth baseball days, back to when you got started up through high school, maybe a couple of good memories that you have. When did you get started?
I started with a team that was called the Rangers. We had a really good team. It was out of Hays actually, but I think one year we went like 49-6, and we had a really good team, and a lot of players off that team are playing college ball now. So it's kind of cool to see how everyone is going up through college.
Yeah.
Off that team.
High school, did your high school make it to any championships? Or?
Actually, we never. While I was in high school, we didn't win a regional championship. We never even went to state, but we won our conference. I think all 4 years I was there, and I think it was like 7 straight years we won the conference. So it was, our team. We were always pretty good, but we just never. The eastern half of Kansas is so much better than the western half, and I grew up in the western half, so.
Oh, well, you can't pick where you're born. At any rate, have you always been a catcher? When did that start to be a part of your baseball life?
When I was younger, I didn't like I caught maybe once every 2 weekends, playing on travel ball, but I was an infielder actually. I pitched and played infield. In high school, I started to catch a little bit around my junior year, and then in the summer ball, I was kind of split between infield and catching. And then my senior year, I kind of decided, I'm gonna catch because that's when we were doing college. So that's kind of when I decided that.
Do you like it? You're to the degree that you're really making a lot of the decisions depending on if you get to call the game. You're kind of the quarterback when you're behind the plate. It's a lot of responsibility. Yeah,
you have to definitely have to be alert at all times. You have to know what's going on for sure. You can't fall asleep back there. If you do, the game will speed up on you, and you have to keep everyone else in check as well. You got to know what everyone else is doing.
Yeah. Do you have any goals that you've set for yourself while you're here at Jamestown?
We might as well win a championship since I'm 15 hours away from home. Come play basketball, might as well win a championship. But just get better in all aspects of my game. Catching, hitting, everything. So I'm just trying to.
All right. Good to have you here. Go Cats and go Jammers.
That's right.
All right. Thanks. That, of course, once again, is Connor Rule. He will be the catcher in today's game, and you can catch his player profile anytime it is available at the YouTube page. Coming back with the head coach of the Jamestown Jammers, Anthony Barone. He'll look back at that big win last night, a 5-0 affair at Dunfield in Elmira. We'll talk about that and how that game went, and we'll look ahead to Onondaga. That's all coming up next here on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Penswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Penswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Penswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Penswood.net Classifieds has it. Penswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally.
Here with the head coach of the Jamestown Jammers, Anthony Barone, after an important win last night against the Elmira Pioneers. And it was kind of a return to what we had done earlier in the season. What I mean from that standpoint is we took an inning that really didn't look like we get much out of it, and we put 4 runs up on the board.
Yeah, it was a really good offensive inning. By Conti, and then really good at bats by Brookover and Valentine to draw walks against a really good arm. And then Chris Estrada fought off a 2-strike pitch. And long story short, we had a big inning, and that's what we've been doing early in the year, and got a 4-run lead, and pitching staff they worked with it.
Yeah, we added one more, but the next big thing that you brought up was the pitching staff, the start by Brad Griggs, and then the finish by Isaac Meza, a combined shutout against the Elmira Pioneers, and that's not an easy thing to do.
No, playing there is never easy, and they have a very talented lineup. But yeah, Griggs and Meza were really good. I'd like to see Griggs, walk a couple less guys, but he really competed and worked with what he had, and then I thought Meza was excellent. He just threw strikes and commanded the zone, and that's what you want to do with a 5-run lead.
Yeah, Coach Carter and I had talked about the performance by Brad Griggs. It's one of those where if you look at it statistically, you say, it wasn't a good outing. Bottom line is he put nothing but zeros up in the scoreboard.
Yeah, I mean, people don't generally hit him that much, so when he decides not to walk guys, he's pretty much, you won't score on him. But I mean, I can't take away anything he did. He was really good. Anytime you can throw 6 shutout innings or 6 1/3 or whatever it was against a team like that, you're doing something really well.
And probably that leads into today. Of course, that did a nice thing because of Geneva's loss. They're 3.5 back. You and I had talked about that in the pregame yesterday. And that, of course, put the Elmira Pioneers at 7 back. As we get closer to the end of the season, all of those things are good for us. One thing that it does kind of set up, though, since back that horrible road trip that we had when we lost 3. I don't think we put 2 wins together since then, and that makes this day's game a pretty big one.
Yeah, you had to bring that up, but yeah, we haven't strung together wins in a while, so it'll be good to see if the guys can come out today and back up last night's really good performance. That'll be really important for us, I think, moving forward if we can start stringing those wins together again before the playoffs, and just to get our confidence level up that we're, won 29 games. We've done something really well this year, so we just got to string it together and keep the same approaches at the plate today as we had yesterday, and the same type of pitching, and our defense was really good last night too, so excellent performance, and hope to back it up tonight.
All right, we'll come back and talk about the Onondaga Flames in this afternoon's game right after this on the Jamestown Jammers Baseball Network.
Psst. Yeah, it's me, your heart. Listen to me. We've got to talk. High blood pressure is serious, and yours? Whoa. What happened to us? We used to be so much more active, but lately you've been ignoring me. I know you think I'm just gonna keep ticking away forever, but you're wrong. You can do so much more to control your high blood pressure. Doing the minimum isn't doing enough. I'm under a lot of pressure and can quit whenever I want. Bet you didn't know that. But I like my job. Just treat me better. Check on me. Give me something green to nibble on every once in a while. And maybe we can do some exercise on occasion. Let's get to it. After all, we're in this together.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Dear John, I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but you've left me no choice. I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is really serious, and lately you seem to really not care. I've been there for you since day one, and I know you think I'm gonna keep ticking. But no, my friend, I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to the good times, when we were more active and ate more healthy foods, and you checked on me every once in a while? Is that too much to ask? I don't want to leave, but unless you stop ignoring me, what else am I supposed to do? Remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Back with Anthony Barone getting set to take on the Onondaga Flames Sunday afternoon game, and it's a big one for some of the reasons that we just talked about, and also to try to get the team's confidence back. One of the things you brought up there, and to follow up a win last night with another win here today.
Yeah, I think it's really important. We've been through not a very easy period of our schedule with travel and different things like that, and we've faced a lot of good arms. We're facing a lot of the team's better arms, and all that stuff has caught up with us, I guess. But yeah, today I think it's going to be a possible matchup first round with Onondaga. So I want our team to play like with that intensity that we want to show them that we're the better team. So I don't know. I think it's just really important. Anytime you can get a streak and you get your confidence back, it's you get your mojo. So I think today's important, and you never like to lose at home anyway. And we're usually a pretty good home team.
Last time we played these guys was at Onondaga, and they handed us a defeat there. That was part of that road trip we were on. But, this team, although coming into the game with a mark of 18-22, which some people would look at and say, well, that's not all that good, they're actually a very competitive team. Yeah,
they have some good players. What I think they got some good arms. So I think they're very good. And they play on turf at home too, and sometimes when you play up there, it's not the same type of ball game. So I'm hoping we get down here on the natural surface, and we can do a couple different things and make them uncomfortable. So we'll see. They're a good ball club, and they have a good attitude. They have an attitude, and they play with an attitude. So it's a game that we don't want them to get the lead. It's important, I think, we get the lead early.
And probably one of the best ways to do that is to keep up with the small ball game, and hopefully everything sunk in last night. You know, all you have to do is look at the inning and realize what small ball can do for you.
Well, that's the only way we're going to score runs. You know, we do have a couple guys in the middle of the lineup that can hit a home run occasionally, but I think we only have like 13 this year, so we don't score that way. We score by the bunt game, the running game, taking extra bases, you know, balls in the dirt, and just drawing the walks. And that's our mentality. And you know, give us a free base, and we can maybe make another base out of it. So you know, we'll see. And you know, Onondaga is going to be good though today.
Of course, one of the keys to winning any game is the pitching. And who do we have on the hill today?
Chris Valamont.
Chris Valamont, of course, came to us, and took a little while for him to get into gear, but his last performance looked pretty good. Yeah,
you know, he's just got to settle down, and you know, I think he's comfortable now being with us, and he's worked with Coach Carter on a couple things, and you know, we expect him to go out there today and give us a chance to win, and he's got all the potential and all the skill sets he needs as a pitcher. So just got to pound the zone and let our defense do its work.
And one of the other things too is, as you progress on, and Chris Conley, you're trying to give him some time off and get him ready for the postseason. That always gives you some interesting things to do with the lineup, to try to position the guys that you feel you can count on in key positions in that lineup.
Well, yeah, we're a little banged up right now. Conley's injured, Colin Stack's injured, and Estrada was a little bit sore. He had a little sore shoulder the other day. But, you know, yesterday I thought guys that stepped in, Nick Burnick did a really nice job defensively for us at second base, and I thought he was a big part of that win. He was so good defensively. And so, I mean, we're going to give different guys a couple shots, and our young catchers, Cross and Rule, are getting a lot of experience back there. And, you know, Conley needs to be healthy by next week, hopefully. And, you know, and we're gonna be smart with him, and we don't want to do anything where he gets injured. And same with Stack. He's got a wrist injury from diving the other day for a ball, and give some other guys some opportunities to, you know, play and produce. So it's they're all here for a reason. They all can play at this level. So when their number's called, they just got to do their job.
All right, time to get a win on a Sunday afternoon, Kids Day. Good luck, Coach.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, back with the start of the game right after this on the Jammers Baseball Network.
My name is Tom Thornton.
And my name is Cindy Thornton. We're retired, and this is how we live united.
We decided to volunteer with United Way at our community free health clinic.
United Way is how we contribute, because we know our time and money are going to the right places.
Judging by the thank yous we get at the clinic, I'd say we're doing the right thing with our retirement, too. We're Tom and Cindy Thornton. We volunteer at our community free health clinic. We don't just wear the shirt.
We live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude.
How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. Perfect. I love my job. Oak Tree?
What's up?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think you would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay. Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Kelly Clarkson, and I've toured the country dozens of times, and there's one thing every state has in common: childhood hunger. The sad truth is that 17 million kids don't know where their next meal is coming from, or if it's even coming at all. Yet there are billions of pounds of surplus food around the country at farms and warehouses that could help end this injustice. But all that food is useless if it doesn't get where it needs to go. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gathers surplus food and gets it to hungry kids before it goes to waste. But they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank. Find out how at feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together we're Feeding America.
To help solve hunger in your community and to find your local food bank, visit feedingamerica.org. That's feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, alright, but don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cold time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown for this afternoon's game between the Jammers and the Onondaga Flames in what could be a preview of a first-round playoff matchup. Now, if the season were to end today, that's where we've been a majority of the season, bouncing around between that 958 and 960. Let's meet the starting lineup in this afternoon's game for the Onondaga Flames. Leading off, the designated hitter, Colin Bavard. Batting second, right fielder, number 9, Sam Little. Hitting third, center fielder, number 27, Kyle Gallagher. Batting fourth, left fielder, number 30, Gage Lanning. In the 5-hole, first baseman, number 12, Webb Little. Hitting sixth, it is the second baseman, number 21, Alex Canty. Hitting seventh, it is third baseman, number 28, Tyler Rourke. Batting in the 8th position, it is the catcher, number 15, Dylan Nolan. Batting ninth, playing shortstop, it is number 7, Wyatt Myers. Out in the field for the Jammers this afternoon in left, it is Jimmy Standahar, Skylar Valentine in center, John Conti in right. Chris Estrada down at third, Alex O'Donnell at short, Nick Burnick at second, and Ben Brookover down at first base. Catching this afternoon will be Connor Rule, and it will be Chris Valamont on the hill for the Jammers. As we talked about with Anthony Barone, Chris's last starts, the best so far this season. And coming into the game, Chris Valamont 1-0 with a 5.82 ERA, his 5th game and 5th start. 17 innings so far, 13 runs, 11 of those earned on just 12 hits. He's walked 15. Right down the middle and taking for strike one. No balls and 1 strike to the right-handed hitting DH this afternoon, Colin Bavard. Next pitch by Valamont is low, and the count is even at 1-1. Bavard coming into the game is hitting .219 in his 27th game and 19th start for the Flames. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Colin Bavard. Jammers with a big win last night in Elmira. Talked about it in the pregame and can't emphasize that one enough. A shutout of the Elmira Pioneers at their place. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Chris Valamont has his first strikeout of this afternoon's contest. And it will bring up the right fielder, Sam Little. Sam coming into the game hitting .287 in his 34th game and 32nd start. 33 for 115 at the plate. He scored 16 runs, has 6 ribbies on the season, and an OPS of 754. Left-handed hitter facing the righty Chris Valamont on the hill, and the first pitch. Inside and a bit low too, and that is ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. To Sam Little of the Onondaga Flames. Chris Valamont with the 1-0 pitch. Right down the pipe, taken by Little, and strike 1 called. Counts even at 1-1. Bit breezy at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park. That's a good thing. 79 degrees right before game time. 1-1 pitch. Grounded up the middle and into center field for a base hit. Sam Little with a 1-out single to center, and it brings up center fielder Kyle Gallagher.
Now the back to center fielder number 27, Kyle Gallagher.
Gallagher coming into the game hitting .314, his 36th game and make that 30th start. He's 33 for 105 at the plate so far. Has scored 19 runs, has 17 ribbies, and an OPS of 776. Runner at first, Little, 1 out. Top of the first inning this afternoon on a Kids Day here at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park. Every Sunday is Kids Club Day. First pitch to Gallagher over the outside corner, strike 1 called. Onondaga doing a lot of first pitch taking here in the early at-bats against Chris Valamont. No balls, 1 strike in the pitch. This one's fouled off over the first base bleachers, and the count is now 0-2 on Kyle Gallagher. Gallagher, a right-handed hitter, and the Onondaga Flames this afternoon dressed in their road red tops with the white numbers trimmed in orange, white pants, and red piping down the sides of the pants. 0-2 the count. Valamont's 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Blew it by him. Some high heat from Chris Valamont, second strikeout of the game. And 2 out in the inning.
The left fielder number 30, Gage Lanning.
Left fielder Gage Lanning steps to the plate for the Pioneers. Not the Pioneers. They were last night. This would be the Flames. Gage comes into the game hitting .303 in his 31st game and 27th start. 27 for 89 at the plate. 19 runs scored, 18 ribbies, and a .950 OPS. Has a big cut and a miss on the first Valamont pitch, strike 1. 0-1 the count.
Everything ready to go for that upcoming new game?
No balls, 1 strike. Top of the first inning.
That's what I'm referencing.
Runner at first and 2 out for Onondaga. 0-1 count. Valamont checks the runner at first and then comes with off-speed stuff to Gage Lanning and buckles his knees, and the count is now 0-2. Will he throw him another off-speed pitch, or will he come with the heat here? It's the question. Looks over at Sam Little, the runner at first. He singled with 1 out. The 0-2 pitch. Just getting a piece of it and fouling it back to stay alive at the plate is Gage Lanning. Jammers into their final week of the season. We'll wrap up next Monday on a great night that we hope you plan to attend. St. Susan Food Drive night. 0-2 the count here. The pitch by Valamont. Inside, and did he hit? Lanning managed to duck out of the way of that one. Amazing. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Came up high and inside, and Gage Lanning ducked down, and it went amazingly behind his head and was caught by Connor Rule. Got it 1-2. 2 out. Little at first. Valamont ready with a 1-2 pitch. Little looper out toward right field. That's going to be trouble, and it is fair. Sam Little on his way to third. Lanning with a wide turn at first. Goes back to the bag. Alex O'Donnell was covering the bag at second.
First baseman number 12, Webb Little.
So with 2 out, the Flames have something going here. Runner down at third and Sam Little. Gage Lanning down at first. And it brings up Webb Little. Webb Little on the season is hitting .218 in his 29th game and 25th start. left-handed hitter. 19 for 87 at the plate. He scored 16 runs. His OPS at 673. First pitch to him is high, ball one, and the runner takes off. Gage Lanning and the Jammers were kind of caught sleeping there with the middle infielders nowhere near the bag. Connor Rule popped up and was ready to throw, had no one to throw to. Gage Lanning with the stolen base. And the count 1-0 on Webb Little. Second and third, 2 out. The 1-0 pitch. Inside low, ball 2. 2-0 the count. Chris has a look toward the Jammers dugout. Back to his standard windup now with runners at second and third, and the 2-0 pitch. Right down the pipe, but called, ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Josh Maiman calling the balls and strikes this afternoon. And Ben Lindquist is working the bases. Our umpiring crew today. 3-0 count, the pitch. Right down the pipe again. This time it's called a strike, and the count is 3-1. 2 out. Onondaga with a little bit of a 2-out rally going on here. Sam Little singled with 1 out. And then Lanning single to right. Moving Little to third. Sharp shot hit to Alex O'Donnell on 1 hop. Picks it up, throws, and gets Webb Little to retire the side. For the Onondaga Flames in their half of the first. No runs, a couple of hits, no Jammers errors, 2 left. And the score at the end of 1 half, Onondaga nothing, and the Jammers coming to bat. Back with that right after this on the Jammers Baseball Network.
This is the news. This morning, we are saluting the 2.2 million women who have joined in the war effort. They now make up 37% of the workforce, changing their role forever.
The prestigious Harvard Medical School is breaking ground today, opening its doors to new female applicants.
Today, little girls all over the world look to the sky, where the first woman is now in space.
Military stereotypes are challenged today with the trailblazing promotion of a U.S. female officer to 4-star general. It was just announced that the vast majority of last year's doctorate degrees were earned by women.
We've come so far, but our news is changing for the worse. More women die from heart disease and stroke than men, even though it can be prevented. Make a change at GoRedForWomen.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women.
Back at Russell Lee Dietrich Jr. Park, time to meet the starting lineup for Anthony Barone's Jamestown Jammers. Leading off, it'll be the right fielder, number 6, John Conti, batting second, the DH, number 25, Chris Steffel. Hitting third, first baseman, number 30, Ben Brookover. In the cleanup spot, center fielder, number 2, Skylar Valentine. Batting fifth, third baseman, number 16, Chris Estrada. Hitting sixth, shortstop, number 1, Alex O'Donnell. Batting in the 7th spot, left fielder, number 29, Jimmy Standahar. Batting 8th, the catcher, number 22, Connor Rule. Batting 9th and playing second base, it's number 13, Nick Bernick. In the field for the Flames, Gage Lanning in left, Kyle Gallagher in center, Sam Little in right, Tyler Rourke down at third, Wyatt Myers at short, Alex Canty at second, Webb Little down at first, Dylan Nolan behind the plate, catching Zach Kemp. Kemp ready with the first pitch to John Conti. That one's high, and it's ball 1. Zach Kemp coming into the game for the Onondaga Flames, 0-3, a 9.00 ERA in his 9th appearance and 4th start of the season. 20 innings pitched so far. Opponents averaging .333 with Zach Kemp on the hill. Next pitch to Conti was a strike. The count's even at 1. And the 1-1, John gets around on that one, pulls it foul down the first base line, and it hits off of the gate area for the Flames bullpen. One of the Flames goes out and retrieves that ball. 1 ball, 2 strike pitch comes in and hits John Conti. Conti aboard, nobody out. The ball ended up in an empty space between Hayden Carter and the home plate area. Hayden comes down, picks it up, and tosses it to Josh Maiman, who goes back behind the plate. Chris Steffel steps to the plate for the Jamestown Jammers. Chris in the outfield last night, back at DH for this afternoon's game, a .333 average. In his 10th game, an 8th start. 9 for 27 so far at the plate. He's scored 3 runs, hit 3 doubles, 9 ribbies to his credit, an .886 OPS. Anthony Barone well down the line from the coach's box, giving out the signs to John Conti, and Chris Steffel having a look. Steps in and gets set to face Zach Kemp. First pitch by Kemp. High to Chris Steffel, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Chris Steffel's first plate appearance was at Adirondack when he just absolutely bazookaed one into right field, and then he hit one deep to right center at Onondaga for a double. So they got to see his second game. Chris has a few more under his belt, and right now he has a 2-0 count on him. Conti down at first. Pretty standard lead at the moment. 2-0 count. Steffel has a rip at that one and fouls it back to the home plate grandstand netting. Count is 2-1. 342 down the right field line at Russell Lee Dietrich Jr. Park. 414 to the deepest part of the park, which is right center field, and then 325 down the left field line. Jammers in their home white pinstripes. Jamestown Jammers in script across the front in navy, trimmed in neon green. Neon green trim on the sleeves, and the numbers on the back in navy, trimmed again in that neon green. Next pitch to Steffel is a ball, and the count now 3-1. 3-1 pitch is called strike 2. Looked a little bit high, and Chris Steffel actually lifted his elbows up when that came in, but Josh Maiman says strike 2. Count full on Chris Steffel. Runner at first, Conti, hit by a pitch. He's going to take off on the 3-2 pitch, and he's just going to have himself a little sprint because the next pitch to Steffel was ball 4. 2 on, nobody out for Ben Brookover.
Now up to bat, the first baseman, number 30, Ben Brookover.
Ben Brookover, the third leading hitter on the team with a .341 average. Conley at the top. John Conti is second now at .344. Brookover up with 2 on and nobody out. And Zach Kemp was ready to get started, and then Dylan Nolan pops out from behind the plate and runs out to have a chat with Zach Kemp. Probably deciding if they want to do anything with the signs with John Conti out there at second base. Ben Brookover, with runners on base, hitting .347 this season. .309 with runners in scoring position. Conti at second is in that position right now. By Ben Brookover, strike 1. No balls and a strike to the right-handed hitting first baseman of the Jammers, Ben Brookover. Ben Brookover, one of the UTSA contingent as part of the Jamestown Jammers roster from San Antonio and attending UTSA. Next pitch to him is high, and the count's even at 1-1. Jammers last night with some good patient at-bats, drawing some walks, setting up a situation where Chris Estrada was able to drive in 3 when all was said and done. That pitch is high and outside, ball 2. Count now 2-1. Left fielder is pretty well off the line. Not as much as most. He's sort of guarding against Ben Brookover, maybe pulling one. Center fielder shaded over to left center. Pitch over the inside corner, back Ben up, but it's called strike two, and the count's even at 2. Lots of room down the right field line. And if Ben wants to go for the deepest part of the ballpark, it's a pretty good shot out there, too, with a wide gap between Gallagher and Little in the outfield. 2-2 pitch. Comes inside with some off-speed stuff and ties up Ben Brookover, swinging and missing for strike 3. Brings up Skylar Valentine.
Now up the bat, the center fielder number 2, Skylar Valentine.
Skylar, the 4th leading hitter on the team at .336 in his 41st game and 41st start. 51 for 152 at the plate. 34 runs scored. 26 ribbies up there for Skylar as well, leading the team in doubles with 16 and an OPS of 934. Runners at first and second and 1 out now. Skylar pops up the first pitch down the right field line in foul territory. Nope, actually it ends up twisting all the way over into the Flames bullpen. Strike 1. The wind this afternoon is primarily blowing in from center field, giving us a pretty refreshing breeze every now and then. 0-1 the count. Zach Kemp looks back at Conti. Comes to the plate. Both runners go. Throw down to third. Conti will slide, and he's safe. Dylan Nolan's throw well to the foul side of the third base bag. Double steal for the Jammers, and hello, small ball. Runners at second and third. It was a ball, of course, to Skylar Valentine, and the count now 1-1. First baseman Webb Little in on the grass. He's well off the bag at first. 1-1 pitch. In the dirt, squirts away from the catcher Nolan, but not enough for Conti to make an attempt to come down and score. 2-1 the count on Skylar. Skylar Valentine on the season, when he is at the plate with runners on base, is hitting .356, .364 with runners in scoring position. Let's see if he can add a couple ribbies here. Steffel at second, Conti at third. Pitches way outside, ball 3, and the count now 3-1. Three balls, 1 strike. 2 on, 1 out. Jamestown Jammers and Onondaga Flames currently in a scoreless tie. Jammers trying to change that here with a big chance. 3-1. Outside low, ball 4. The bases are jammed, and it brings up Chris Estrada.
Now up the bat, the third baseman, number 16, Chris Estrada.
Chris hitting .273 on the season in his 41st game and 40th start. 45 for 165 at the plate. The big category for him, the RBI leader in the league with 36. Has a big chance to add to that here, and the first pitch to him is high, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. Bases loaded for the Jammers. Next pitch is over the PGCBO outside corner, and the count's even at 1 ball, 1 strike. Zach Kemp in a hole here. He hit Conti with a pitch. Steffel then walked. Then a double steal put them at second and third. Then Valentine walked. The pitch is over the outside corner again and taken by Estrada, and the count 1-2. Couple of slow motion pitches from Zach Kemp. Let's see if he comes with some heat here to Chris Estrada. Estrada well beyond the middle of the right-hander's batter's box, is not as close to the plate as some of the hitters in the PGCBL. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He gets him. Big strikeout by Zach Kemp. He has 2 outs in the inning. Ben Brookover and Chris Estrada both struck out.
Now up to bat, the shortstop number 1, Alex O'Donnell.
Alex O'Donnell has gotten hot at the plate over the last couple of weeks and has his average up to 229. He is 30 for 131 at the plate, and the first pitch is that outside corner one, and Alex frustrated with the call. No balls and 1 strike. 2 out, bases still loaded. Jammers trying to make something happen here in the bottom of the first. Pitch is high to O'Donnell, and the count is even at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. See if OD can deliver here. Heat over the outside corner for a strike called. Count 1-2. OD on the season among the team leaders in RBIs with 29. As a matter of fact, he is 3rd on the team, Brookover with 31 and OD with 29. Team leader, as I mentioned before, Chris Estrada with 36. That pitcher was outside in the dirt, and the count's even at 2. Deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Bases loaded. And the break-even pitch to O'Donnell. Popped it up, and it's playable. Third baseman Tyler Rourke into foul territory, makes the catch, and the Jammers' bases-loaded situation is not taken advantage of. No runs for the Jammers, no hits, no errors for the Onondaga Flames, and there were 3 runners left on base. We have completed 1 at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park, and the score, Onondaga nothing, and the Jammers nothing on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. I help people solve difficult and trying personal problems every day on my TV show, but there's one problem that's just got me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. That's 1 in 5 kids who may not know where their next meal is coming from, despite the fact that there's more than enough healthy, nutritious food out there to feed them all. Now, I don't know about you, but that is unacceptable to me. Luckily, the Feeding America network of good people is out there collecting surplus food and giving hope to hungry children and their families at local food banks all across the country. But let's face it, they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Back at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, Jammers and the Onondaga Flames. Flames top of the second will feature numbers 6, 7, and 8 due up here. Alex Canty, Tyler Rourke, and Dylan Nolan. Alex Canty, the second baseman, a right-handed hitter, hitting .242 on the season, 36 games and 34 starts, 30 for 124 at the plate, and 16 runs scored. .693 OPS, and the first pitch to him misses low, ball 1 from Chris Valamont. 1 ball, no strikes. Chris Valamont ready with a 1-0 pitch. Over the outside corner, count evens at 1-1. Chris Valamont with a couple strikeouts in the Flames half of the first. 1-1 here to Canty. Popped up, out of play. That goes out of play beyond the first base bleachers, and the count now 1-2 on Alex Canty. Jammers have tomorrow off and then host the Newark Pilots on Tuesday night here at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park. Here's a grounder towards second. Nick Bernick waits for it, makes a clean field and a good throw to Ben Brookover, and retires Canty for the first out here in the Flames half of the second. Tyler Rourke steps to the plate for the Flames. Tyler, coming into the game, is hitting 160 in his 12th game, 9th start. 4 for 25 at the plate. And Chris Vallimont ready to face him. The first pitch. Right down the pipe, taken by Tyler Rourke, and strike one called. No balls and a strike to the right-handed hitting third baseman, who recorded the final out there in the Jammers half of the first. 0-1 pitch on its way. Strike two over the middle of the plate. Off speed stuff, though, that time from Chris Vallimont, and ahead of Rourke. No balls, 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. And the pitch by Vallimont. Grounded down to first baseman Ben Brookover. Takes a belt high hop. Ben juggles it a little bit and then gets it under control in his glove and makes a quick dash for the bag at first and beats Tyler Rourke. 2 gone. And that'll bring up the catcher Dylan Nolan. Nobody aboard and 2 out for Nolan. Top of the second, no score in the game. Nolan at the plate is hitting .087 in his 14th game and 11th start. Fouls off the first pitch over the first base grandstand and out of play. Strike one. 0-1 the count. No balls, 1 strike. 2 out, nobody aboard the pitch. Throws him the slider over the outside corner, and Nolan swings and misses for strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Nolan quickly ready, wanting to face another pitch from Vallimont. Chris with a big sigh before he comes set and delivers inside and a bit low. Count now is 1 ball, 2 strikes. One and two the count. Vallimont shakes off one sign from Connor Rule and another, and takes too long for the liking of catcher Dylan Nolan, and he steps out. Top team in the PGCBL this season, the Amsterdam Mohawks, with a record of 30-11. That one is right down the pipe and taken by Nolan. Strike 3 called, and that'll do it for the Onondaga Flames in their half of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We have completed 1.5 at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park, and the score, Jammers nothing, Flames nothing on the Jammers Baseball Network.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, I had one thing on my mind. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball every chance I could. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn the signs of a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. I'm Paul George. Protect the ones you love. Spot a stroke F-A-S-T. Fast. Life is why. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Jamestown Jammers Baseball Network. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dave Shannon. And, of course, with Dylan Nolan being the last batter at the plate there, he got a little help from fellow catcher Adam Gallagher, who come out and caught some of the warm-up tosses from Zach Kemp. For the Jammers in the bottom of the second, it'll be the bottom third of the batting order. That'll be Jimmy Standahar, Connor Rule, and Nick Burnick. Jimmy at the plate is hitting .336 in his 38th game and 32nd start. Another chance for him in the outfield, and the first pitch to him misses ball 1. 1-0 pitch by Kemp. That one skipped in front of the plate about 4 or 5 inches. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Standahar, the leadoff batter here in the inning. That one's over the PGCBL outside corner and a strike called. Count now 2-1. Getting some not so rave reviews from the Jammers fans in attendance this afternoon. That call by Josh Maiman. 2-1 pitch. Way outside, and the count now 3-1 on Jimmy Standahar. Jimmy, when leading off an inning, is hitting .280. Has 25 at-bats in that situation. Had 5 walks coming in. He now has 6. So he dropped the bat immediately and took off for first base. Had to look over his shoulder to make sure that was indeed ball 4.
Now up the bat, the catcher number 22, Connor Rule.
Connor Rule steps to the plate, hitting .222 in his 22nd game and 20th start. Starting behind the plate today. Pressed into duty again the afternoon after a night game. The good news for Connor is he gets tomorrow off, as the whole team does. Standahar with a huge lead off the bag at first, takes off. Throw down to second, slide, and safe is Jimmy Standahar. Jimmy gets his 14th stolen base of the season. Only Conti has more. John just picked up his 16th back in the first inning. No balls, 1 strike. The count to Connor Rule. Fouls off the next pitch. Lined over toward the first base bleachers, and he's quickly behind. No balls and 2 strikes. Second baseman Nick Bernick on deck. What a great game for Nick at second last night against the Pioneers. No balls, 2 strikes. Zach Kemp's 0-2 pitch. High, taken by Rule. Count 1-2. Talked to Connor in our player profile there before the game, and he's got those K-State purple batting gloves on, as the purple chest protector as well. Some of the Cats colors. The 1-2 pitch, outside, low, ball 2, count even at 2-2. Nolan seemed to exhibit a little frustration with that pitch by Kemp. Came out from behind the plate and took a couple of steps and really threw it hard out to Zach Kemp. And Kemp misses outside for ball 3. Connor Rule exhibiting the patient at-bat. Was behind 0-2, and it's now a full count. And the payoff pitch, grounded back. Nice jumping stab by Zach Kemp, and a little bit of a weak throw over the first, but he didn't throw it that hard, and it just hit the dirt, bounced up nicely, so first baseman Webb Little could handle it, and Connor Rule grounds out for the first out here in the bottom of the second.
Second baseman number 13, Nick Bernick.
Nick Bernick will step to the plate now for the Jammers, with a runner at second base and Jimmy Standahar. 1 out. Zach Kemp looks back at Jimmy, faked like he was going to start toward third and pulls back, and Nick Bernick takes strike 1. 0-1 the count to Nick. Nick hitting .190 coming into the game in his 21st game and 17th start. Getting the start at second base today. 0-1 the count on him. No score in the game. We're in the bottom of the second. The 0-1 pitch. On the outside corner for a strike, and the throw to third picks off Jimmy Standahar. Standahar caught stealing. Anthony Barone does not agree with the call, but first, bases umpire Ben Lindquist goes back to his place down the first base line. He didn't want to hear anything from Anthony. 2 out now, and a no-ball 2-strike count on Nick Bernick. This one's hit high in the air toward right field. Right fielder Sam Little over about 5 steps to his right is able to make the catch of the fly ball off the bat of Nick Mernick to retire the side for the Jammers. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Onondaga Flames, and nobody left on base. We have completed 2 at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park, and the score, Jammers nothing, Flames nothing on the Jammers Baseball Network.
The odds of a young girl being discovered by an industry insider while singing to herself pumping gas. 1 in 300 million. The odds of a daughter of a clergyman from Severn, Maryland, spending 11 weeks at #1 on the U.S. singles charts. 1 in 19 million. The odds of going on to win 7 Grammy Awards. 1 in 1.4 million. The odds of selling over 40 million records. 1 in 800,000. The odds of this musician and performer having a child diagnosed with autism. 1 in 68. I'm Toni Braxton, and I encourage you to learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Autism Speaks. It's time to listen. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Back for the Flames half of the 3rd inning. And they'll have 9, 1, and 2 hitting against Chris Valamont. Wyatt Myers, the shortstop, will lead things off, followed by DH Colin Bavard, and then the right fielder Sam Little. Myers at the plate for the first time tonight, comes into the game hitting a .185 in his 29th game and 21st start. Wyatt Myers wears number 7, playing short this afternoon for the Onondaga Flames, who are in a scoreless tie with the Jammers here, top of the 3rd inning. Chris Valamont on the hill, and Chris's first pitch to Wyatt Myers. Hit in the air toward right field. Conti over and back a little bit and makes the catch of the fly ball off the bat of Myers for the first out in the Flames half of inning number 3. 1 up, 1 down, back around to the top of the order, and Colin Bavard. Bavard struck out swinging on a 1-2 pitch back in the first inning. Bavard, the DH this afternoon. Colin at 5'9", $175. Comes from Syracuse and attending SUNY Cortland. Just finished up his freshman year there. The first pitch to him missed for ball 1. 1-0 the count on Colin Bavard. The 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss, and the count's even at 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody aboard, 1 out, top of the 3rd. Chris Valamont with the start today for the Jammers, ready with a 1-1 pitch. Missed outside, count 2-1. Chris Valamont so far this afternoon. That was his 35th pitch here in the 3rd inning. Doing really well. This one's hit high in the air, deep to right center. The wind is blowing it over toward right center. Valentine's there and makes the catch. And he hits the turf, and he just lays there for a little while, and John Conti will come over and gather up his hat and his glove and hand it to him. What a play by Skylar Valentine. Fortunately, that was up in the air, giving him the time to get over there. Even at that, I could see the wind blowing it over toward John Conti, and yet Skylar was able to get there and catch it. More SportsCenter stuff from Skylar Valentine for the 2nd out of the inning. Sam Little, right fielder, steps up now for the Onondaga Flames. 2 out, nobody aboard. The first pitch to him is low, ball 1. Little singled up the middle back in the first inning on a 1-1 pitch. The count 1-0 here. Valamont's next pitch, high chopper. Finally comes down, takes another high chop, and then Nick Bernick in the air and off balance throws it toward the first base bleacher side of Ben Brookover, and that will allow Sam Little to get up to second base. Runner at second and 2 out. That's a single for Sam Little and an error on the throw by Nick Bernick. Runner at second with 2 out. Kyle Gallagher, center fielder, at the plate. Strikeout victim back in the first on 3 pitches. Struck out swinging. 2 out here. Little with a big lead off the bag at second, and the first pitch right down the pipe and taken by Gallagher. Strike 1 called. No balls and 1 strike. Kyle Gallagher, the center fielder, 6'4", 206, out of Enwell, New York, attending Cornell. Hits one down the right field line. That's trouble. It's in fair territory. Conti's going to have to chase it down. Coming in to score the first run of the game is Sam Little, and pulling up into second base with the RBI 2-out double is Kyle Gallagher. 1-0, Onondaga. And it brings up the left fielder, Gage Lanning. Lanning at the plate for a second trip against Chris Valamon. He singled and stole second back in the first inning when the Flames had an opportunity but did not get anything across. And now with 2 out, a single by Little and a double by Gallagher. And the Flames lead at 1-0. Lanning at the plate, and the pitch by Valamont. Popped up, shallow right. Coming in hard is John Conti, and he'll make the catch of that pop-up off the bat of Gage Lanning to bring the Onondaga Flames inning to an end. For the Flames, they get a run on a couple of hits. 1 error for the Jammers and a runner left. The score at the end of 2.5 is Onondaga 1 and the Jammers 0. Back with more after this on the Jammers Baseball Network.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him opening his own clothing store at the age of 18? 1 in 138,000. Excited to be a part of pop culture, he packed for the big city. The odds of finding someone to invest in his vision? 1 in 4.5 million. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. I encourage you to learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Back at Russell Lee Dietrich Jr. Park on the Jamestown Jammers Baseball Network. Dave Shannon with you this afternoon. Jammers trailing 1-0. It'll be the top of the order for the Jammers in the bottom of the third inning. John Conti, Chris Steffel, and Ben Brookover, the scheduled batters to face Zach Kemp. Kemp has a 1-0 lead now. A run on 4 hits, and there's a nice bunt by John Conti down the third base line. Nolan out from behind the plate, and no way he's going to get Conti. John Conti with a bunt single to start things off for the Jammers here. Base 2 times. First one was a little more painful, hit by pitch. Did pick up a stolen base, though, back there in the first inning, and we'll see how long it takes for him to get off and running. Zach Kemp realizing that he is that threat to steal and makes a toss over before he even brings one to the plate, and Chris Steffel. There goes Conti. Dylan Nolan's throw is high, and Conti slides to the outfield side of the bag, and he's in safe with his second stolen base of the afternoon. 1 ball, no strikes to Chris Steffel. Chris at the plate for a second trip. He reached on a walk back in the first, part of a double steal back there in the first inning. Looked like the Jammers might get something, but we came up empty there in the bottom half of the first. Next pitch by Kemp misses low. Count is 2-0. Here's the 2-0 delivery to Steffel. Comes with heat inside and backs Chris off the plate, and it's called ball 3. Chris Steffel, 6'3", 215 out of Floral Park, attending St. John's this fall. He'll be on campus. Make an appointment to see him now. It's 3-0. Inside, ball 4. Up 2 times, on base both times via the walk. If this situation seems familiar to Ben Brookover, it should. Ben was up in the exact situation that we have right now back in the first inning. And in that plate appearance, Ben struck out on a 2-2 pitch. First and second, nobody out. 1-0 Onondaga leads. Hits that high in the air, deep to left field. Back for it, and making the catch is Gage Lanning. Tagging at second and moving up to third is John Conti. Steffel keeping an eye on that as the throw came in to Tyler Rourke, the third baseman. So that can be a saver for Ben Brookover, as we can give him a sac fly on that, moving the runner up. Conti at third, Steffel at first, and 1 out. Skylar Valentine will step up. Valentine walked back in the first inning to load the bases, and then the Jammers just unable to get anything in. First pitch is over the PGCBL outside corner, strike 1. Skylar Valentine, 5'10", $180 out of Pearland, Texas. There's folks in town to see their son play. UTSA junior chops one down the third baseline, hits in the grass, and then takes that sharp turn into foul territory. Strike 2. 0-2 on Skylar Valentine. The guy who has hit so many doubles in 2017 wanted to come in handy here. Skylar was 16 coming into the game, plus 26 ribbies. Tying run down at third in John Conti. Chris Steffel at first. 1 out. 0-2 the count. Zach Kemp with a 0-2 pitch. Staying alive at the plate, reaching out and fouling it off over the first base bleachers, Skylar Valentine. Count remains 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, 2 on. Jammers trying to tie it up. They're trailing 1-0, and Chris Steffel had a walking lead off the bag at first, and Zach Kemp felt compelled to make a toss over there. And so he took a couple steps back to the bag. Chris does not have a big lead at all off the bag at first. Conti, on the other hand, creeping down the line at third, and Skylar Valentine watches ball 1. 1-2 the count. Oh, we can see the residual effects of that great catch out in right center field. Diving catch of the fly ball that was twisting away from him. Skylar Valentine with a grass stain on his shoulder. Grounds to second. Canty to Myers, and over to first. Not in time. Valentine is safe. Coming in to score is John Conti, and we're tied at 1.
Your Jammers have scored the tie of the game, and now up to bat, the third third baseman number 16, Chris Estrada.
For some batters, that could have been grounding into an inning-ending double play, but Valentine has the speed and beats it out. Estrada hits one high, deep to left field. Going back is landing at the wall, makes the catch. Kind of tough to get one out today with that wind blowing in, and Chris Estrada gave it a ride, though, and it is caught out there by Gage Lanning for the final out here in the Jammers half of the third. One run across, and we did that on one hit. No errors for the Onondaga Flames, and one runner left. We have completed 3. We're tied. Onondaga 1, Jamestown 1 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
What is that?
Oh, it's my time machine.
Does it work?
Sure, just hit this button.
Whoa, dinosaurs, cool.
Or we can go here.
Hey, that's Napoleon.
Oui.
Or we can go to the future.
Wow, hey, you have this nice house. Do I have a nice house?
No, you didn't save any money, always spent it on vacations and stuff.
If only there was a way I could go back in time and correct that bad habit.
Yep.
Okay, the time machine is not real, but the saving thing is. Get in the habit of putting some of your money in savings each week through a 401k, savings account, or financial investments. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1,000,000. For free ideas and easy tips on saving, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
What does this crazy little button do?
Wait, no!
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Lots of clouds in the sky, but the sun is out as well, and no rain according to radar in the immediate area. 79-degree afternoon at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park. We have 3 innings in the books. We're tied at 1. It'll be Webb Little, Alex Canty, and Tyler Rourke due up to face Chris Vallemont. Webb Little, 6'3", $185 out of Fayetteville, New York. And he is attending Ithaca. Just finished up his sophomore season there. First pitch on its way to Webb Little here in the top of the 4th inning. Right down the pipe, taken by Little, and strike 1 called. One difference I see from Chris Vallemont as opposed to many pitchers is he is not afraid to split the plate with a pitch. And that time he threw one inside to Little. He got around on it and fouled it over toward the Flames dugout. Strike 2. 0-2 the count. Kids Club Day here at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park. You can sign up your children for the Kids Club. Line drive caught by Chris Estrada. Playing well off the line at third base with a lefty at the plate. And that is the first out for the Flames in their half of the 4th. 1 up, 1 down, and Alex Canty, the second baseman, steps in for the Flames. Alex Canty, 5'10", $180 from Batavia, attending Monroe Community College, just finished up his freshman campaign there. 1 out, nobody aboard for him. High in the air. Valentine will go back, and then the wind puts the brakes on the flight of that ball. First ball hitting Alex Canty in the deep fly ball out to center field for the second out of the inning. If you're going to get one out today, it's going to need to be a line drive. With the current wind conditions at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park. At the plate, third baseman Tyler Rourke with 2 out and nobody aboard. First pitch by Vallemont misses inside, ball 1. Rourke grounded out to Ben Brookover unassisted for the second out of the second inning. Up here again in the 4th with a 1-0 count on him. Vallemont's 1-0 pitch. Cut and miss by Rourke, and the count is even at 1-1. Chris Valamont picking the outside corner there and getting the big swing from Rourke. 1 ball, 1 strike. Valamont's pitch. Back through the legs of Chris Valamont, actually deflecting off of one of his legs, but it's picked up by Alex O'Donnell in what appeared to be something that would turn into a single. And Valamont says it hit off of his heel and went over to O'Donnell. So Rourke is retired, as it turns out, 1-6-3, as it deflects off of Chris Valamont. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We have completed 3.5 at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park. We're tied at 1 between the Jammers and the Flames.
Pennswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Pennswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Pennswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Pennswood.net Classifieds has it. Pennswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally.
So when you get to the corner of Smith and Orchard, you're going to want to take a left.
You are not going to.
Then what you're going to do is turn onto Marcy
and Brad
Avenue.
Just broke up,
and go past the first 3 lights,
happy
and then
about
take
it.
the next left.
I don't really
then
think
drive 5
she's
more
happy,
blocks,
but
and you should be
who
there.
am I to judge, right?
Park on the right.
That's
I'll
what
see
I
you
heard
later
last
tonight.
night.
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Sort of looked like that ball had deflected off of Chris Valamont's left leg over to where Alex O'Donnell could get it and make the put out, but he motioned to umpire behind the plate, Josh Maiman, that it went off his foot. So OD, the guy that cleaned everything up, is at the plate, and the first pitch to him from Zach Kemp is a strike called. 0-1 the count. 0-1 pitch. Grounded down the first baseline, takes a nice friendly hop for Webb Little, and he'll win the race to the bag, beating Alex O'Donnell for the first out here in the Jammers' half of the 4th. Jimmy Standahar will step to the plate.
Now up the bat, the left fielder number 29, Jimmy Standahar.
Jimmy Standahar, 5'10", $170, out of Girard, Ohio. Attending Mercyhurst, finished up his junior year there, that is, this past season. Fouls off the first pitch from Zach Kemp, strike 1. 0-1 the count. Forgot to update you on OD. OD, by the way, is from Lockport, New York. And he had that sit-out year when you transfer. He's transferred to Mercyhurst, and his senior campaign will begin there this fall. 0-2 count, the pitch. Outside in the dirt, skips, and picked up nicely by Dylan Nolan. And the count now 1-2 on Jimmy Standahar. Jimmy at the plate with nobody aboard and 1 out. And the pitch. In the dirt, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jimmy reached on a walk, stole second, and then was caught stealing. Nolan to Rourke for the second out of the second inning. 2-2 pitch. Chopped toward the shortstop, takes a nice bill-high hop, throws, and Jimmy is safe. The ball hit in the dirt and bounces over to the perimeter fencing there, down the first base line. Wyatt Myers unable to complete that out. And we'll see how that gets scored. Almost have to do a single error on that. Give him the single on the chopper to shortstop. Jimmy's down at second. And Connor Rule will step to the plate. Connor hit one back to the pitcher, Zach Kemp, for the first out of the second inning. And the first pitch here is outside in the dirt, and scrambling to get it and maintain his balance is catcher Dylan Nolan, ball one. The 1-ball, no-strike pitch to Connor Rule misses outside, ball two. Two balls, no strikes, one out, Standahar at second. Jammers and Flames tied at 1. 2-0 pitch. Misses outside, ball three. Having a little bit of trouble with the strike zone here with Connor Rule at the plate is Zach Kemp. Connor will probably keep the bat on the shoulders here as the 3-0 comes to the plate, and it misses way outside, ball four. And the head coach of the Onondaga Flames, Ryan Stevens, makes his way out to the mound to have a talk with Zach Kemp.
Now up the bat, the second baseman, number 13, Nick Burdick.
Trent Schulte making his way down toward the bullpen. He is a left-handed pitcher. He may just be a messenger in this particular case. We'll see who gets up and starts to throw for the Flames. Jared Strait begins to stretch out down there in the Flames bullpen. So Kemp will try to get things back under control. 1 out, 2 on. Standahar at second and Rule down at first, and Nick Burdick at the plate. Nick up for a second trip. Fly ball out to right fielder Sam Little for the final out of the second. Up here in the fourth, squares the bunt, bunts it down the third baseline, and actually into the area where no one is. He bunted it really hard in the gap between short and third. Went by the pitcher, no way he could come up with it. Shortstop had already gone over to cover the bag at second. And no way that Rourke was trying to stay close to the bag at third with Jimmy Standahar coming over. Perfectly executed single bunt for Nick Burdick, moving Rule up to second, Standahar to third, just 1 out. And John Conti at the plate has a big cut at the first pitch from Kemp, strike one. John's third trip to the plate, 1 for 1, as he singled back in the third, was hit by a pitch in the first. Pitch misses inside for a ball, and the count's even at 1-1. One ball, one strike. Bases loaded. Just 1 out. Big chance for the Jammers here. Sharp grounder toward short. Myers goes to Canty for 1, and that's all they'll get. Standahar comes in to score. Good hard slide at second by Nick Burdick, and no chance for Canty to do anything with the throw he got from Myers. And Conti, with that speed anyway, is probably going to beat that out even if he would have thrown over. So put John down at first on a fielder's choice. Move Connor Rule up to third. Standahar scores. 2-1 Jammers lead, and out from behind the plate, Dylan Nolan with some signs for everybody out there in the field. 2 out with runners at the corners. Jammers will try to add another one on here with Chris Steffel at the plate. Chris has been on base 2 times via the walk so far, and he has a big cut at the first pitch from Zach Kemp and fouls it off over the third base bleachers, strike 1. No balls and a strike to the left-handed hitting DH, Chris Steffel. John Conti just getting back to the bag at first as he was really ready to go, and Dylan Nolan comes out from behind the plate with signs again. Webb Little holding the runner at first, and a heck of a hole between him and Alex Canty if Chris Steffel can hit it. He hits it right at the second baseman. Canty takes a nice chest-high hop. He snags it out of the air and throws to Webb Little to retire Chris Steffel and the Jammers in their half of the fourth. But a run comes across on a couple of hits. There was an error charged, and there were 2 runners left on base. We have completed 4, and the score, Jammers 2, Flames 1, here on the Jammers Baseball Network.
This is why you work so hard to pay the mortgage. Because home is more than 4 walls and a roof. It's that porch swing on a summer night. It's pajamas with feet and everybody over for Sunday dinner. And that old stuffed chair in the living room you just can't get rid of. This is why you work a second job. This is why you learn to fix things yourself so you could save on repairs. Because home is your place, your memories, your family sleeping in their own beds at night. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. And now even more options are available. Call 888-995-HOPE today. That's 888-995-HOPE. Or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov.
Good night, Mama.
This is why. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
Back at Russell A. Dietrich Jr. Park on the Jamestown Jammers Baseball Network, I'm Dave Shannon. Happy you could join us this afternoon. The Jammers up by a score of 2-1. Anthony Barone and I in the pregame chat had alluded to the fact that this may be a game that has a playoff kind of feel to it, and thus far it does with this 2-1 margin that the Jammers have, scoring single tallies in the third and now just in the bottom of the fourth. For there, too, Onondaga brought one across in the third. Both teams have had other opportunities to score a run, but between the pitching and the defense, they have not been able to do it. So Chris Valamont grabs himself a little rosin back behind the cleat cleaner out there in the mound, and it'll be the catcher Dylan Nolan coming to the plate. Speaking of catchers, Connor Rule was at third there when the inning ended, so Matt Cross came out and helped warm up Chris Valamont. We're all set to go as the head coach of the Flames, Ryan Stevens, makes his way down to the third base coach's box. At the plate, Dylan Nolan, and the first pitch misses inside to Nolan, ball 1. Nolan called out on strikes on a 1-2 pitch for the final out of the second in his previous at-bat, up here in the top of the fifth. 1-0 pitch on its way from Valamont. Tried to check his swing and went around. Did Dylan Nolan, strike 1. Counts even at 1. Catcher Dylan Nolan, 6 foot, $190 from Brick, New Jersey. Attending Wells, just finished up his freshman year there. 1-1 the count. And the pitch by Valamont. Outside and in the dirt and gets by Connor Rule, rolling back to the home plate grandstand. The count now 2-1. Valamont, to this point in the game, has thrown 51 pitches, 37 strikes, 14 balls, struck out 3 so far in the afternoon. 2-1 pitch. Fouled off by Dylan Nolan, and the count's even now at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Dylan Nolan, the leadoff batter for the Onondaga Flames. We're in the top of the 5th inning. 2-2 pitch. High, ball 3. Counts full now on Nolan. Leadoff batter for the Onondaga Flames. Dylan Nolan, as a leadoff batter, has been in that position 4 times and unable to reach. Swings and misses, strike 3. Comes with the heat as Chris Valamont gets his 4th strikeout of the afternoon.
Now the bat, the shortstop, number 7, Wyatt Myers.
Brings up shortstop Wyatt Myers. Myers up for a second trip to the plate. Fly ball out to John Conti. That John ran over toward the foul line and flagged down for the first out of the third. Right-handed hitter is Wyatt Myers. And the first pitch by Valamont. Fouled back to the home plate grandstand netting for strike one. Wyatt Myers, the shortstop, 6 foot, 200 pounds, from Chittenango, New York. Heading Buffalo, just finished up his freshman year. 0-1 pitch. Not near him. Even a 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, nobody aboard. 2-1 Jammers lead, top of the 5th. Popped up, out of play. Valamont hit Myers now, 1 ball. Ring items free. Ground ball to third. Estrada up with throws and gets Wyatt Myers for the second out of the inning.
Back up the back of the Flames, DH number 6, Colin Bavard.
Retire Myers 5-3 and send to the plate DH Colin Bavard. Bavard with his third trip to the plate, 0 for 2 so far. Struck out swinging back in the first and then hit a deep fly ball to right center field that Skylar Valentine had to take a big run at, got there, dove and caught. And as I said, he has the physical evidence to prove he did it because he's got a humongous grass stain up on his shoulder where he took the dive. First pitch to Bavard to strike, and the 0-1 misses outside low, and the count's even at 1 now on the right-handed hitting DH, Colin Bavard. Don't forget that food drive night is coming up July 31st, and we will be hosting these Onondaga Flames at 7:05. Next pitch misses outside, and the count now 2-1 on Colin Bavard. For the rest of this week, Newark here Tuesday, Elmira here Thursday, Utica here Friday. We'll be at Geneva. Not sure where that pitch was, but it was called ball 3. Might have been a bit high. As I said, we head to Geneva Saturday, the 29th at 7:05. Then we host Adirondack next Sunday afternoon at 3:05, and then Onondaga here to wrap things up. Next pitch by Valamont missed for ball 4, so with 2 out, he walks Bavard and brings up Sam Little, who's 2 for 2, and has scored the only Onondaga run. He did that back in the 3rd inning after he singled, and then moved up to second base on a throwing error by Nick Bernick. Singled, got the 3rd back in the 1st. I thought the Flames were going to pop on the scoreboard first this afternoon, but Valamont and company shut him down at that point. Pitched a little right down the pipe, taken by Sam, strike 1 called. Sam Little at the plate with runners on base is hitting .304. 0-1 the count on him here. 2 out. Valamont taking his time from the stretch, comes set. Here's the pitch, and the runner goes. Throw down is going to be late. Stolen base, Colin Bavard. And the pitch to Sam Little was a ball, and the count is even at 1-1. Sam Little in that situation is hitting 182. 303 with runners in scoring position, but then down to 182 with 2 out, and he grounds it to Nick Burnick. Nick is up with it and throws to Ben Brookover to retire Sam Little and the Onondaga Flames here in the top of the 5th. No runs across, no hits, no errors for the Jammers, but a runner left on base. After the 2-out walk, Colin Bavard reached and moved up to second with a stolen base. We have completed 4.5 at Russell A. Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, and the score, Jammers 2, Onondaga Flames 1. Back with the Jammers half of the 5th, right after this on the Jammers Baseball Network.
This is you over 30 years ago.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
And this is your mom when you drive her back from therapy.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Roles change without us noticing, and in your new role, we help you help. AARP gives you the information to help care for your mom so that you can have patience with her just like she did with you. Visit aarp.org/caregiving or call 1-877-333-5885 to get practical health and wellness tips to provide even better care for your loved one.
Are we there yet?
Remember, visit aarp.org/caregiving. AARP, we help you help. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Ben Brookover steps to the plate to lead things off for the Jammers in the bottom of the 5th inning, leading 2-1. Chops one foul down the third base line, strike one. Zach Kemp, beginning his 5th inning of work this afternoon, has given up 2 runs on just 3 hits. Onondaga with a run on 4. Both teams with an error this afternoon, and the off-speed pitch has Ben Brookover fooled, and he takes a swing and misses, strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Ben struck out swinging on a 2-2 pitch back in the 1st and hit a sac fly back there in the 3rd that moved John Conti up a base, eventually leading to a Jammers run. That pitch in the dirt hits the chest protector of Dylan Nolan and bounces down the first base line. Count 1-2. Ben Brookover, as we mentioned earlier, from San Antonio, Texas at UTSA. 1-2 pitch on its way. Outside low, counts even at 2. Let's see what Zach Kemp can come up with. The same situation he had Ben in back in the 1st inning when he struck him out. The 2-2 pitch this time. Misses outside, ball 3. Good eye, Ben Brookover. Jamestown Jammers and Onondaga Flames have met a total of 4 times so far. Jammers up 3-1. Swing and a miss, strike 3. On the 3-2 pitch this time. Skylar Valentine will step to the plate. On the afternoon, Skylar's been on base twice. He walked back in the 1st and then grounded into a fielder's choice back in the 3rd, and the first pitch to him's over the outside corner, strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. Nobody aboard, 1 out. That pitch is in the dirt and skips by Dylan Nolan all the way to the home plate grandstand. Counts even at 1. Early warming going on in the Onondaga Flames bullpen. so far on the afternoon. That pitch misses for ball 2. Count now 2-1. Zach Kemp has thrown 79, 41 strikes, 38 balls. Valamont has thrown just 67 through 5. This pitch is outside, ball 3. Similar situation to what Schuyler had against him back in the first inning when he walked. 3 balls, 1 strike. Zach Kemp's 3-1 pitch. Popped up. Center fielder Kyle Gallagher swirls around underneath it and makes the catch. Has to come in as that wind grabs it and blows it right back in toward the infield. Skylar Valentine, the second out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Chris Estrada at the plate now for the Jammers with nobody aboard and 2 out. And you talk about a guy that got close to putting 1 out. He did that there for the final out of the 3rd inning. Caught at the wall by Gage Lanning. He's 0 for 2 this afternoon as Chris Estrada grounds one down the 3rd base line and just foul. Kemp is quickly ahead, no balls, 2 strikes. Chris Estrada against these Onondaga Flames this season hitting .200, well below his season average. 0-2 the count here in the pitch. Off-speed pitch looked to be way outside from up here, but Josh Maiman says strike 3. He called it, and that'll do it. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Zach Kemp. And no runs, no hits, no errors for the Flames. Nobody left at the end of 5 to score. Jammers 2, Flames 1, here on the Jammers Baseball Network.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better. And kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor. Because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
Welcome back to Russell Lee Dietrich Jr. Park as we head to the top of the 6th inning, and due up for the Flames, it'll be the numbers 3, 4, and 5 hitters to face Chris Valamont. That would be Kyle Gallagher, Gage Lanning, and Webb Little. So far, Chris Valamont with a quality start, going through 5, giving up 1 run, 4 hits. And to get through 5 innings, he only needed 67 pitches, 45 strikes, 22 balls. He struck out 4 on the afternoon and walked 1. At the plate, it is Kyle Gallagher leading things off for the Flames here in their half of the 6th. First pitch by Valamont. Comes with a fastball, and it's popped up to shallow left. O'Donnell out. Coming in, Jimmy Standahar makes the catch of the pop-up off the bat of Kyle Gallagher for the first out here in the top of the 6th. Obviously, the Flames feel that when you step to the plate, you can go ahead. You're going to get the best pitch of the at-bat off of Valamont on the first one, and they swing away. Hasn't paid off yet as far as a deep shot. Gage Lanning will step in now to face Chris with 1 out and nobody aboard. First pitch hits about 1.5 feet out in front of home plate, maybe 2 feet. Ball one. Bounces up over the shoulder of Connor Rule. Back to the home plate grandstand, and Connor goes out to talk to Sasquatch. I just kid around with Chris Valamont every once in a while. I refer to him as Sasquatch. He is an imposing figure out there in the hill, to be sure. 1-ball pitch is fouled back by Gage Lanning, and the count's even at 1-1. Lanning on the afternoon is 1 for 2. Fly ball out to John Conti for the final out of the third. He also singled back in the first inning and stole second. 1-1 strike, the pitch. Hit high in the air toward right center. This is wind driven again, and Skylar Valentine comes over, and John Conti was already there, and Skylar yielded to John Conti, and John makes the catch for the second out of the inning. 2 up, 2 down.
Now up the bat, the first baseman, number 12, Webb Little.
And one of the things we had talked about in the pregame show, the patient at-bats, right now the Flames not exhibiting that. They seem to want to be able to take the ball and park it somewhere. Not been able to do so yet. First pitch to Webb Little is inside and low, ball 1. Webb Little at the plate for a third time. 0 for 2 in the afternoon, grounding out to O'Donnell for the final out of the first, and a line drive shot at Chris Estrada for the first out of the fourth. That pitch is over the inside corner at the knees, and the count is even at 1-1 on Webb Little. Webb Little's been in 2 of the games, 2 of the 4 played between these two teams, and has yet to reach base. Grounds this one over toward the Flames dugout. Count now 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Nobody aboard, 2 out. Jammers 2. Onondaga Flames 1. We're in the top half of the 6th. Valamont's 1-2 pitch. Line drive down the left field line. That falls in fair territory, and it rolls into the corner. Webb Little is on his way to second. He'll pull in with a 2-out double. Webb Little has his first hit against the Jammers in this 5th game between the two. A 2-out double down the left field line. Right-handed hitting second baseman Alex Canty steps up now. Canty 0 for 2 in the afternoon, grounding out to Nick Bernick for the first out of the second, and a fly ball out to Valentine for the second out of the fourth. Runner at second now in Webb Little, and 2 out. Chris Valamont will pitch from the stretch here, and the first delivery right down the middle of the plate, taken by Canty, and strike 1 called. Alex Canty against the Jamestown Jammers is hitting a .154. He played in all 4 games prior to this. 0-1 the count on him here. Chris Valamont with the 0-1 pitch. Off-speed delivery, cut on and missed. Squirts away a little bit from Connor Rule over toward the Flames dugout. Not far enough for an advance by Webb Little, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes on Alex Canty. 0-2 the count, 2 out. Valamont will try to bear down here and get Alex Canty at the plate and finish this inning off. 0-2 the count and the pitch. Canty made contact. I thought he made contact there, but I think they were calling a swing and a miss, and the pitch was in the dirt and rolled to the backstop. Rule could not come up with it. And so, down at first base, it's Alex Canty. And this will bring up third baseman Tyler Rourke.
Pinch hitting for the Onondaga Flames from Canisius College, number 11, Stephen Bennett.
And it will also, instead of bringing Rourke to the plate, bring up a pinch hitter in Stephen Bennett, 5'11", $180 out of Auburn, New York, attending Canisius. Just finished up his freshman year there. First pitch misses inside, ball 1. Webb Little moved over to third when that ball got away from Connor Rule. Runners at the corners and 2 out. 1-0 pitch is inside low, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Stephen Bennett at the plate. He will stay in the game and play third then, as he oftentimes does for the Onondaga Flames. Has a 2-0 count on him here. Trying to tie this thing up. Tying run at third. Some high heat from Chris Valamont, and Bennett did not offer. The count now 3-0. I would suspect that if Bennett is able to reach, that you'll see a visit from Hayden Carter. Bennett on the season, by the way, hitting .273 in his 35th game now. High ball 4. Walked him on 4 straight. Moves Canty up to second. Bases loaded, 2 out, and it is Hayden Carter out of the Jammers dugout for that visit with Chris Valamont as catcher Dylan Nolan steps up.
Catcher number 15, Dylan Nolan.
2 of the strikeouts this afternoon for Chris Valamont were against Dylan Nolan. Called out on strikes on a 1-2 pitch for the final out of the second, and a strikeout swinging with a full count on him back in the 5th for the first out of that inning. Connor Rule, Hayden Carter, and Chris Valamont talking it up out there on the hill. Good healthy slap from Connor Rule. He heads back behind the plate. Hayden Carter satisfied with his conversation with Chris Valamont. We can hope this works as well as one that he had with Brad Griggs did last night at Elmira, when the good old favorite phrase, good talk, popped into my head. Lefty Nolan Hunt is loosening in the Jammers bullpen. There you go. Chris Valamont hits one over the outside corner. Picking that spot. Goes up, no balls, and a strike on Nolan. I don't know if he may come with strict heater in this at-bat or not. 0-1. Chopped off the front of the plate. Valamont off the mound, fields, throws, and gets Dylan Nolan to retire the side. No runs across, a hit, no Jammers errors, and the bases left loaded by the Onondaga Flames. We have completed 5.5 in the score. Jammers 2, Flames 1 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard, so you don't need to mooch off your friends.
You gonna finish that grape? You mean the one in my mouth?
You don't need to stop buying the necessities.
What you're smelling is a natural musk.
Ew.
You don't need to be a medical test subject.
How do you feel? Mostly okay. Sometimes, though.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman! Let's break for lunch.
You just need an internet connection. Don't get left behind. Start your personal savings plan with the tips and tools on feedthepig.org. That way, you don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
All right, deal. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Back at Russell A. Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, New York, Dave Shannon with you on the Jammers Baseball Network. And Zach Kemp's afternoon is done after a really good start. Goes 5 innings, faces 23 batters, gave up 2 runs, 3 hits, walked 5, struck out 4, hit a batter, threw 85 pitches, 45 strikes, and 40 balls, and enter into the game Jared Strait. Jared Strait 1-1 on the season, a 3.65 ERA, all his work out of the pen. This will be his 11th appearance. 12 and a third pitch so far. He's given up 7 runs, 5 of those earned, 16 hits, walked 8, struck out 10, opponents averaging 308 with Jared Strait on the hill. Strait coming into the game is going to face the numbers 6, 7, and 8 batters, Alex O'Donnell, Jimmy Standahar, and Connor Rule. Jammers and the Flames in what could be a preview of the first game of the postseason for the Jammers. If the season were to end today, that's the way it would be played. One thing you got to keep in mind, keep an eye on those Newark Pilots. At 13 games back, 16 and 26, they are 7-3 in their last 10 and have a 5-game winning streak under their belt at the moment. Alex O'Donnell at the plate, and the first pitch to him is over the inside corner, strike 1 called. Jared Strait's afternoon begins with a strike on OD. 0-1 pitch on its way. Outside in the dirt, scooped up by Dylan Nolan, and the count's even at 1. Alex O'Donnell against the Onondaga Flames this season, hitting .500 in 2 games. 3 for 6, scored 3 runs too, coming into today's game, and hits a line drive toward right field. Running in and making the catch is Sam Little. Nice play by Little. That looked like that was destined to be a leadoff single, but Little with the speed comes in and grabs it, 1 away.
Number 29, Jimmy Standahar.
Jimmy Standahar at the plate for the Jammers, facing Jared Strait for the first time this afternoon. Jimmy hitting .364 in 3 games against the Onondaga Flames. Jimmy's afternoon so far is 1 for 1. He walked back in the second. He singled in the fourth and came around to score the go-ahead run, the run by which the Jammers lead. Grounded sharply down to third. New third baseman Bennett fields it, throws a little one-hopper over to Webb Little, but Little has looked good there at first base this afternoon, and that is the second out of the inning.
Number 22, Connor Rule.
2 up, 2 down for the Jammers in their half of the 6th, leading the game by a score of 2-1.
Everything ready to go for the paper toss?
It'll be Connor Rule at the plate, and the first pitch to him catches that outside corner, strike 1 called. Connor on the afternoon is 0 for 1, grounded back to the starting pitcher Zach Kemp, and then walked in the fourth. Another one over that outside corner, strike 2. Jared Strait quickly ahead of Connor Rule, no balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, and nobody aboard. And Connor tries to break things up a bit, that is. Fast pace being worked by Jared Strait coming in. 0-2 pitch on its way. Interesting delivery by Strait as he kind of lets the forearm dangle out there, and then as he finishes his follow-through with his legs, it just comes snapping through there. Pitch fouled off by Connor, and count remains at 0-2. Here is the 0-2 pitch. Grounded toward the hole between short and third, fielded by shortstop Wyatt Myers, and the throw will not get Connor Rule. Connor Rule with an infield single. That'll bring up second baseman Nick Burnick.
Number 13, Nick Burnick.
Nick found a way to get on base back there in the 4th inning when he was up and bunted and hit that area out there with runners on base and a runner coming to third. The third baseman at the time, Rourke, had to hang out at the bag at third. The shortstop went to cover the bag at second. And the pitcher couldn't get the hard bunt off the bat of Nick Bernick, and Nick singled. It also hit a fly ball out to right for the final out of the second. Up here with Ruled at first and 2 out. First pitch to Nick gets away from catcher Dylan Nolan. That allows Connor Rule to get up to second base. Runner at second and 2 out, and a 1-ball no strike count on Nick Bernick. See if Nick can keep things going. We talked about that 2-out lightning stuff that the Jammers resurrected last night. Maybe that can happen here. Next pitch to Bernick, outside low, ball 2. And the head coach, Ryan Stevens, is out of the Onondaga Flames dugout to go talk to Jared Strait. Came in and was able to get the first 2 batters, O'Donnell and Standahar, without much effort. Connor Rule hit that slow chopper toward the hole between short and third. The shortstop Myers got to it but couldn't throw him out. Moved up to second on a wild pitch by Jared Strait, and after that he threw another ball to Nick Bernick and is behind 2-0. There is activity in the Onondaga Flames bullpen. It appears as though that could be that pitch. Misses. And Nick Bernick checked his swing, and the count is now 3-0 on Nick. Looks like Trent Schulte from Gonzaga may be out there warming up. And a signal in from the bullpen to indicate that their pitcher is ready. That one does catch the outside corner, and the count 3-1. It may be a situational move if Nick can keep things going. May want to go lefty-lefty on John Conti. 3 balls, 1 strike, and the pitch. Well, it was called strike 2. Looked a bit low to me from up here, but that's me from up here in the press box, high above the home plate circle. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at second, Connor Rule, 2 out. Jared Strait in relief of Zach Kemp here in the bottom of the 6th. Payoff pitch on its way to Nick. He fouls it off, and the count remains at 3-2. If nothing else, Nick is certainly making Jared Strait work here to try to get this final out here in the bottom of the 6th. Nick Bernick hitting a .125 against Onondaga in 3 games against them. That's outside low, ball 4. Good eye, Nick. 2 on, 2 out. John Conti at the plate, and a pitching change is coming. As we'll go situational. Once again, I do believe this will be Trent Schulte coming in. .5'11", a .190, out of Bainbridge Island, Washington. Attending Gonzaga. Just finished up his sophomore campaign there. So we'll give you some numbers.
Gonzaga University, number 19, Trent Schulte.
For Jared Strait, as he does come in and record 2 outs here in his appearance, so he'll obviously have been out there for 2/3 of an inning, facing 4 batters, giving up a hit and a walk, and threw a wild pitch. 10 strikes, 6 balls out of his 16 pitches thrown. I think he'll be available tomorrow if Ryan Stevens needs him. Checking the numbers on Trent Schulte. Comes into the game with a 1-1 record. And the wins and losses coming in appearances out of the pen. This will be his 15th appearance. He has a 3.00 ERA, has thrown 21 innings, given up 9 runs, 7 of them earned, 23 hits. He's walked 4 and struck out 20 in 14 innings. Opponents are averaging 284 against him. That's 93 batters faced by the Zag, Trent Schulte. He will face John Conti. John Conti against the Onondaga Flames, hitting 125. But this afternoon, this will be his 4th trip to the plate. He was hit by a pitch, stole a base back in the first, singled, stole a base, and eventually scored in the third, and reached again on a fielder's choice in the 4th. The first pitch to him is outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. John Conti playing in right field as Colin Stack injured himself when diving for a ball in foul territory that he caught. He did take the at-bat after that, but could not continue. So he's trying to rest up and get ready for the final games of the season. 1-1 the count to Conti. Cut and a miss on an off-speed pitch. He fooled John, and the count now 1-2. John on the season does have 23 ribbies. Maybe pick up another one here. Connor Rule at second. Grounded right back to Schulte. Runs about 2/3 of the way to first base and makes the underhand toss to Webb Little, retiring John Conti and the Jammers in their half of the 6th. No runs across, a hit, no errors for the Onondaga Flames, and 2 runners left on base. We have completed 6 at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park, and the score, Jammers 2, Flames 1. Back with more after this on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Pennswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Pennswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Pennswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Pennswood.net Classifieds has it. Pennswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally.
I'm Little Teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and pour me out.
This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Back at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park on a beautiful Sunday afternoon, the Jammers and the Onondaga Flames doing battle. The Jammers lead the game by a score of 2-1, and Chris Valamont's afternoon is done as Nolan Hunt will come in from the bullpen to relieve him here in the 7th. We'll give you the numbers for Chris Valamont in just a second here as Nolan completes his warm-up tosses. On the afternoon, Chris Valamont goes 6 strong, 26 batters faced, gave up a run, 5 hits, walked 2, struck out 5, threw a wild pitch, 84 total pitches, 56 strikes, and 28 balls. The hands of, the game that is in the hands of the Jammers bullpen.
Leading off in the top of the 7th, the shortstop, number 7, Wyatt Myers.
Nolan Hunt making his 2nd appearance against Onondaga. He has 2 innings already in against them, has only given up 1 hit to them, and struck out 4 in previous appearances. Overall, Nolan is 2-1 with a 2.18 ERA. This is 15th appearance of the season. 20 2/3 to this point. The first pitch to Wyatt Myers is popped up. Shallow right. In John Conti makes the catch. Very aggressive at-bats at times by these Onondaga Flames. First ball hitting that time was Wyatt Myers and flying out to Conti for the first out of the inning. We're in the top of the 7th. Jammers leading it 2-1. Colin Bavard will step in. Colin 0 for 2 in the afternoon. Struck out swinging for the first out back in the first. Fly ball out in that right center field gap that we had the old Sports Center play by Skylar Valentine on. Hey, if it's in the air and it's between Olean and Erie, he'll catch it. Also, Colin Bavard walked back in the 5th. And the count now to him is 2 balls and no strikes. The 2-0 pitch to Bavard is fouled off over the first base bleachers, and the count now 2-1. Bavard against the Jammers hitting .077 coming into the game. Had played in 4 games prior to all 4 of the games between these two. Line drive toward that right center field gap again, and this one's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Nope, it's cut off by Valentine, but then he bobbles it, and that'll give Bavard a chance to get over to third. Give him a triple in the gap. 1-out triple to Colin Bavard. Sam Little will step to the plate. And Little has been hot this afternoon. 2 for 3 stepping to the plate. Singled. Made it to third back in the first inning. They could not get him in. Singled and scored in the third. The only Onondaga run to this point. We're in the top of the 7th. Last plate appearance by Little, grounded out to Nick Bernick. First pitch is over the outside corner, strike 1. Nice job by Nolan Hunt. Just put that one behind you, Nolan, and concentrate on this guy. 0-1 pitch on its way. Pop to shallow left. Coming in is left fielder Standahar. Fakes the throw while Colin Bavard faked like he was going to come to home. So the double fake nullifies. And it ends up being the second out of the inning. Sam Little with the pop-up to left field. And it brings up Kyle Gallagher. Gallagher at the plate with a tying run at third. The Jammers were playing there, by the way, with Little at the plate. With the infield in, everybody peels back now. Playing at standard depth. 2-out runner at third. And the first pitch to Gallagher misses outside low, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to the center fielder this afternoon. Kyle Gallagher is 1 for 3. That pitch just missed. Must have been low. And the count now 2-0 on Gallagher. Gallagher likes to play against us in 4 games, hitting .444. 2-0 pitch over the PGCBL outside corner. And the count now 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 with 2 out and a runner at third. Grounder chops over the head of Chris Estrada into left field, bringing in Colin Bavard. Kyle Gallagher, the big 2-out single, and the RBI to make it a 2-2 game. Got a pinch hitter coming into the game for Gage Lanning, the left fielder. That will be Ricky Sisto. A bad hop on the chopper by Kyle Gallagher, goes over the head of Estrada and into left, and we have ourselves a tie game. First pitch to Sisto missed outside, ball 1. One ball, no strikes, 2 out, and a runner at first. And Hunt stepped off the rubber, didn't make a throw over to first, just kind of stepped off to reset. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a foul tip off the glove of Connor Rule. It counts even at 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out. Ricky Sisto, 6'2", 200 pounds, out of Liverpool, New York. Doesn't have to go far to get to the games, does he, when the Onondaga Flames are at home? Grounded foul down the third baseline. Not by much. But the count now at 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. This is a big out for Nolan Hunt to get. 1 run in. We're tied at 2. The pitch. High to left field. Standahar is back. Short of the warning track will make the catch of the fly ball off the bat of Sisto to retire the side. 1 run across for the Flames. 2 hits. No jammers errors. And a runner left on base. We have completed 6.5 at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park, and the score, Jammers 2, Flames 2 on Jammers Baseball Network.
My name is Ruth Rusi. I'm a retired teacher. I'm 91 years old, and this is how I live united. I say retired, but not really. Once a week, I read books to children as part of United Way's education program. Reading to a child creates links between language and literacy. It creates a bond between grown-up and child. And believe it or not, it prepares them for a better academic future. Oh, we read about frogs and flies and pigs with wings, all sorts of juicy stuff. It's a joy to watch all those little faces. I figure I have the time and they have the need. And I've always believed that if we're not here to help each other, then what are we here for really? My name is Ruth Rusi. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Well, top of the 7th, a single run across for the Onondaga Flames to tie this thing up at 2. And Chris Steffel was the scheduled batter to start the inning. It'll be Ryan Markey pinch hitting. He will be facing Trent Schulte. Anthony Barone taking away that lefty-lefty matchup. Ryan Markey, a big part of the come-from-behind tie by the Jammers in a game against the Pioneers on Friday night that the Jammers lost in extra innings. Leads things off here in the bottom of the 7th. Bunts down the third baseline. Charging in to get it is Bennett. Throws, will not get Ryan Markey. Came in, barehanded it, bobbled it just a little bit. And that little bit of hesitation was enough to allow Ryan Markey to lead it off with a bunt single. Markey down at first, nobody out, and Ben Brookover at the plate. Ben is 0 for 2 in the afternoon, struck out swinging 2 times. Both times with Zach Kemp on the hill. He also had a sac fly back in the 3rd, 0 for 2. Runner at first, Markey, and a throw over by Trent Schulte. And getting back is Ryan Markey. Jammers with single runs in the 3rd and 4th for their 2. Single runs in the 3rd and 7th for Onondaga's 2. And there is a righty warming in the Flames bullpen. Not down to anything serious yet, but he's getting ready. First pitch to Ben Brookover, high outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Ben against the Onondaga Flames this season, hitting .278 in the 4 games preceding this one. Hits one in the air. Center fielder Kyle Gallagher is over in that gap. Catches up with it and makes the catch of the fly ball off the bat of Ben Brookover for the first out in the Jammers' half of the 7th. That'll bring up Skylar Valentine.
Now up the bat, the center fielder, number 2, Skylar Valentine.
Skylar at the plate with Markey at first and 1 out on the afternoon. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 3rd. Also hit a fly ball out in the 5th for the 2nd out of that inning. 1 ball, no strikes. First pitch to him missed. Schulte's 1-0. Popped up down the 3rd baseline, giving chases Bennett, and he runs out of room as that hits in the 3rd base bleacher area. Counts even at 1-1 now on Valentine. Ryan Markey bunted down the 3rd baseline to get things started here, pinch hitting for Chris Steffel. He's down at first. Brookover, a fly ball out. Caught by the center fielder, and the next pitch to Valentine misses, ball 2. Count 2-1. Ryan Markey with pretty standard lead off the bag at first. That one comes inside to Valentine, ball 3. Skylar walked on a 3-1 pitch back in the 1st. Perhaps he can get on again the same way. See what Schulte does. The lefty on the hill for the Flames with the 3-1 pitch, hits him. Comes inside and hits him on the hip. And now the Jammers have runners at first and second and just 1 out, and Chris Estrada stepping up.
At the 3rd baseman, number 16, Chris Estrada.
Chris Estrada, RBI leader on the team, is 0 for 3 today. Couple of strikeouts and a fly ball out. Almost put it out of the park, but almost, well, you know what they say about that. First pitch to him misses outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 on and just 1 out. Jammers trying to regain the lead. Flames just tied it in the top of the 7th. That pitch is way outside, ball 2. Suddenly Schulte having a bit of problems finding the strike zone. 2-0 the count. 2 pitchers warming in the Flames bullpen now. 2-0 pitch taken by Estrada, just floats over the middle of the plate, and the count now 2-1. Both starters gone from the game. Chris Valamont for the Jammers and Zach Kemp for the Flames. And will not be a part of the decision-making process when it comes to wins and losses, with this game now tied in the bottom of the 7th. Next pitch to Estrada, a strike, and the count is even at 2. Markey at second, Valentine at first, and 1 out. The pitch hits Chris Estrada down around the ankle on his left leg. Now the bases are jammed. Estrada down at first. Valentine at second. And Ryan Markey at 3rd. Back-to-back hit by pitches. And Alex O'Donnell will try to get the Jammers back up on top here. Big opportunity for OD with the bases loaded, 1 out. Corner infielders in. And OD fouls off the first pitch into the Flames. Well, it was headed for the Flames bullpen and caught the Light standard down the first baseline. Picked up by Webb Little and tossed to Hayden Carter, first base coach of the Jammers. No balls and 1 strike to OD. Lefty Trent Schulte on the hill with the 0-1 pitch way outside, and the count is now 1 ball and 1 strike to Alex O'Donnell. Alex on the afternoon 0 for 3. You could say he's overdue. That pitch misses low and the count 2-1. Alex O'Donnell on the season with 29 ribbies. Maybe he can get the 30 here. That pitch is right down the middle of the plate. Strike 2. Counts even at 2 on OD. No balls, or make that 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, bases jammed. The pitch. Swung at and fouled in the batter's box, and the count remains even at 2. Ryan Markey's at third. Got himself a bunt single to get the thing started here in the bottom of the 7th. After Brookover flied out to center fielder Kyle Gallagher, Valentine was hit by a pitch, and so was Estrada. So the bases are jammed, and Alex O'Donnell at the plate with a 2-2 count on him. 1 out. Bottom of the 7th, game tied at 2. Schulte's pitch. Off-speed delivery. OD waited on it and just got underneath it a little bit, fouled it back to the home plate grandstand. Count is even at 2. Two balls, 2 strikes, still to count on OD. This will be the 7th pitch of this at-bat. After Alex O'Donnell steps back in, he called time. Schulte took too long, asked for time and got it. Back in, ready to go. 2-2 pitch. Goes over the catcher's mitt of Dylan Nolan. A wild pitch from Trent Schulte brings in Ryan Markey from third. And both runners advance. Markey in on the wild pitch charge to Schulte. As that one was so high, you might have needed a small step ladder to get it. And it's ball 3. Count now 3-2. Payoff pitch. OD waited on that. I thought he was going to get a hold of it and drive it out, but he pulled it foul. He is really on to Schulte's off-speed stuff. And he will now see the 9th pitch of this at-bat. Infield in, except for the first baseman, and OD swings and misses at the heat on the outside corner, strike 3. 2 gone. Runners at second and third, though.
Now up the bat, the left fielder, number 29, Jimmy Standohar.
Jimmy Standohar steps to the plate. Coming into today's game, hitting .336. And he is 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Been on base 2 times. Singled and scored in the 4th. First pitch to him looked awfully low, and Josh Maiman called strike 1. Anthony Barone starts down the line. Maiman waved him off early. And now he calls Jimmy Standohar over to talk to him. Jimmy's 2 times on base. He walked back in the 2nd, stole 2nd, and then was caught stealing trying to get the 3rd. Singled and scored the, at the time, go-ahead run in the 4th. And then he grounded out to third base for the 2nd out in the 6th. 0-1 pitch, outside, counts even at 1. Valentine at third, Estrada at second, both hit by pitches from lefty Trent Schulte. The 1-1 pitch. Grounded in the hole between short and third into left field. Valentine scores. Here comes Estrada. The throw was headed toward the plate, cut off by Stephen Bennett, the third baseman, and almost able to get Standahar as he took a wide turn there at first, but Jimmy's going to pick up a couple of RBIs on the single to left, and the Jammers will lead the game by a score of 5-2. Estrada was flying coming around the bag at third, and not quite sure why Gage Lanning thought he could make something happen at the plate, but he started to throw in that direction. Smart cutoff by Bennett, and they almost got Standahar at first. The 2 runs would have counted, but the inning would have been over. Instead, Jimmy will be down at first. Connor Rule will be at the plate, and Brad Griggs ferries some baseballs out to Josh Maiman. And we have a new pitcher on the mound for the Onondaga Flames. Ryan Greco comes in to relieve Trent Schulte. Greco, 6'7", 230. Hails from Camillus, New York, attending SUNY Brockport. And Connor Rule will be the first Jamestown Jammer to face him. Give you the numbers on Schulte, which ended up, looked like he was going to have a really nice outing here, and then all of a sudden, the Jammers were able to capitalize. And to be quite honest with you, Schulte dug his own hole with those hit batsmen. And so he is out of the game. Ryan Greco is in. I'll give you the final numbers for Trent Schulte. Schulte was the third pitcher of the afternoon for the Flames, went an inning, faced 7 batters, 3 runs, 2 hits. He didn't walk anybody, had a strikeout, but hit 2 batters, the biggest part. And then the other part you can throw in is that wild pitch. The wild pitch allowed the go-ahead run to score, both runners to move up, so that Standahar's single yielded 2 more runs. A crooked number up for the Jammers here in the bottom half of the 7th, and now lead at 5-2. Let's see what young Mr. Greco has done in the 2017 season for the Onondaga Flames. Ryan is 2-1 with a 3.46 ERA. This will be his 10th appearance, make that 11th appearance. 13 innings pitched so far. He's given up 5 runs, all earned, on 10 hits. Struck out 17, walked 8. Opponents averaging just 213 with Greco on the hill. 2 out, Standahar at first. Connor Rule at the plate, toss over, and they picked off Jimmy Standahar. Connor will have to wait for that at bat, and as a matter of fact, talk about coming in and getting a quick relief appearance. Greco comes in, doesn't have to throw a pitch to the plate, just has to make a spot-on toss over to first and pick off Jimmy Standahar. So that'll do it for the Jammers in their half of the 7th, when they score 3 runs on 2 hits, no errors for the Onondaga Flames, and there were no runners left on base. Cleaned things up there at the end. The score at the end of 7, Jammers 5, Flames 2 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Hey everybody, Rachel Ray here. Nothing puts a bigger smile on my face than cooking up a big meal for family and friends. But there's not enough room at my table for the 17 million kids in America who are struggling with hunger. These children, that's 1 out of every 5, often have to skip meals because there's just nothing to eat in the kitchen. Yet there's more than enough healthy, nutritious food produced right here in America to feed every last hungry child. If only there was a way to get it to them. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks collects surplus food to give hope to hungry kids and their families all across our country. But they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America at your local food bank and at feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Back at Russell Lee Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, New York, Dave Shannon with you on the Jammers Baseball Network. Nolan Hunt's afternoon is done. He goes an inning, faces 5 batters, gave up a run, a couple of hits. Walked no one, struck out no one. 15 pitches thrown, 10 strikes, 5 balls. He did give up the tying run back there in the top of the 7th, but the Jammers, since taking the lead, now up by a score of 5-2. Enter Colin Johnston for the Jamestown Jammers. The closer for the team comes in with a mark of 1-2. This is 17th appearance, a 1.32 ERA, 27 and a third pitched, has given up just 5 runs, only 4 earned. And the first pitch is a ground ball by Webb Little to Nick Burnick, who throws to Ben Brookover for the first out.
Second baseman number 21, Alex Canty.
Onondaga has really been on that first ball hitting string this afternoon. And we talk about patient at-bats, and they really haven't had a whole lot of them. Seeing a pitch that they like and teeing off on it every time, and the first pitch to Canty's fouled off. Hits in the first base bleachers. Rolls down a row and a half, and a young man starts after it, and the old guy that was behind the ball steals it. Canty is now behind no balls and 2 strikes after fouling one down the third base line. 1 out, nobody aboard for the Flames. Top of the 8th, Jammers up 5-2. Colin warmed up last night, but was not needed at Elmira as Isaac Meza with a dandy relief job last night. Alex Canty grounds to Alex O'Donnell. Fields it and makes a little snap sidearm throw to Ben Brookover at first, retiring Canty. 2 up, 2 down.
Now at the back, the third baseman number 11, Stephen Bennett.
Third baseman Stephen Bennett. He came in back in the 6th inning to replace the starter Tyler Rourke, and the first pitch by Colin Johnston hits Stephen Bennett. Bennett makes his way down to first base. He's going to take his time because that one came in with some velocity from Colin.
Another pinch hitter coming, Adam Gallagher, number 5.
And catcher Dylan Nolan's afternoon is done, as we have one of the other catchers on the team, Adam Gallagher, coming in to pinch hit. 2 out here in the inning. Runner down at first, Stephen Bennett hit by a pitch. And we'll see what Adam Gallagher can do. Coming in to hit for Dylan Nolan. 2 out. First pitch is fouled off by Gallagher, strike 1.
Is everything ready for the Dizzy Bat Relay?
No balls and 1 strike to Adam Gallagher. Gallagher on the season for the Onondaga Flames, hitting .234. This is 20th appearance of the season. He'll come in, pinch hit, and then catch once the Flames go out for the bottom of the 8th. But right now, they're at the plate with a runner at first and 2 out, and Gallagher fouls off another one over the first base bleachers. The count is 0-2. Jammers with single tallies in the 3rd and 4th, and then 3 in the bottom of the 7th for their 5. Single runs in the 3rd and 7th for the Flames, and even with Common Core math, that adds up to 2. 5-2 Jammers lead. Still activity in the Onondaga pen. 1 righty, 1 lefty. No ball, 2-strike pitch from Johnston. Runner goes, throw down to O'Donnell, and they get him. O'Donnell was just coming into the picture as the throw went down by Rule, and he was able to put the tag down on Bennett, and that'll retire the side. For the Flames in their half of the 8th, no runs, no hits, no jammers, errors, and nobody left on base as it got cleaned up on the caught stealing, going Connor Rule to Alex O'Donnell. The score at the end of 7.5, Jammers 5, Flames 2 in the Jammers Baseball Network.
Hey, there he is. How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand or what?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you okay?
I'm having a stroke.
Your face looks weird too.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you having a seizure or something?
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear.
I'm having a stroke.
You just need to know the sudden signs. Look for FAST, F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. Or S, speech difficulty. Then T, time. Time to call 911 immediately, because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Know the sudden signs. Face, arm, speech, time. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Russell A. Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, New York on the Jamestown Jammers Baseball Network. I'm Dave Shannon. The Jammers have a 5-2 lead, bottom of the 8th. And due up for the Jammers here in the bottom half of the 8th inning, it'll be Connor Rule, Nick Bernick, and John Conti. Speaking of John, it was kind of interesting to see John prior to the game, as he had a lengthy conversation with fellow Canisius student Gage Lanning before the start of this afternoon's game. A lot of these guys on this coming from the same schools, and they get together and chat it up before the games. Sometimes with the amount of Canisius players on the field, you could have a class reunion almost. There's so many of them. Connor Rule will step in. Standahar was picked off to end the inning when Connor was at the plate, and the first pitch to him, and the first pitch of the outing for Ryan Greco is ball 1 in the dirt. Greco came in and picked off Standahar. He never had to throw one to the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. The 1-0 pitch to Connor Rule. PGCBL outside corner, strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Connor Rule, the leadoff batter. Ryan Greco on the hill. 6-7. I'm sure there have been many people from the round orange ball that goes into a hoop that have talked to him over the course of his athletic career. 1-2 the count. He's playing baseball. Boy, is that ripped down the third base line, but foul. Connor got around on that one. Count remains 1-2. Josh Maiman checking to make sure that ball is no longer in the field of play, as Christian Deaton makes the run down into the left field area to retrieve that loose ball. He's got it, and we're all set to go. 1-2 the count. Ryan Greco with a 1-2 pitch to Connor Rule. Outside low, and the count is even at 2. Popping up from behind the plate, Adam Gallagher had to stretch his back a little bit after catching that one. Adam did not start today. Behind the plate, it was Dylan Nolan with the start. 2-2 count, and the pitch by Greco. Line drive, right field, base hit, Connor Rule. Gets things started for the Jammers here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Connor on the day now 2 for 4. Make that 2 for 3. Almost forgot about that walk back there in the fourth. Been on base 3 times in 4 plate appearances. And here is Nick Bernick. Nick's been at the plate 3 times, on base twice, and he's 1 for 2. He walked back in the 6th and had an outstanding bunt single back there in the 4th when the Jammers took the lead at 2-1. Throw over the first. Connor Rule had to dive back in, squaring to bunt, pulling back, and watching strike 1 is Nick Bernick. No balls, 1 strike. Nick getting the start at second base today. Jimmy Standahar out in left. John Conti getting the start in right field as Colin Stack is injured. Time called there. I think Connor Rule may have had something in his eye there at that point. We're all set, ready to go, and a toss over, and he gets back again. Nick Bernick steps in, waiting for the 0-1 pitch from Ryan Greco. Stephen Bennett well in on the grass at third, bunted at by Nick, and goes foul over toward the Flames dugout. 0-2 the count. Nick will have a check of third base coach and head coach Anthony Barone to see what is off or on at this point. 0-2 count. And another toss sending Connor Rule back to first. Scoreboard's a bit tardy. They're showing 0-1, but it's 0-2. Jammers with 5 runs on 7 hits, 2 runs on 7 for the Flames. 0-1 pitch. Nick Bernick is tipped on the elbow. He has an elbow protector on, and it caught that and deflected down into the glove of Adam Gallagher. Another Jammer hit by a pitch. Runners at first and second and nobody out for John Conti.
Back up the bat for your Jammers, the right fielder number 6, John Conti.
Conti will step up, and with a runner at second base, the catcher Adam Gallagher will go out and discuss with Ryan Greco how the signs are going to change here. John Conti at the plate for a 5th time, has been on base 3 times, hit by a pitch, singled, and a fielder's choice in the 4th. First pitch to him, bunting, and bunting through it is John Conti, and strike 1. No balls and a strike to the left-handed hitting right fielder this afternoon, John Conti. No balls, 1 strike. Squaring to bunt and bunting it down the third base line. An excellent bunt by Conti and almost beats it out, but Stephen Bennett makes the field and the throw. Getting Conti, who sacrifices Rule, and Bernick up 1 base. Rule to third, Bernick to second. Well executed, John Conti.
Pinch hitting for your Jammers from California State University at Bakersfield, number 7, Christian Deaton.
So John Conti back to the dugout with a successful trip to the plate. Ryan Markey came in to pinch hit for Chris Steffel in the DH position. Now it's Christian Deaton stepping in with runners at second and third and 1 out. Infield in all the way around for the Onondaga Flames. No balls and 1 strike to count on Christian Deaton. That pitch is low, and the count is even at 1 now. Christian coming into the game, hitting 155. This will be his 30th appearance as a Jammer. He does have a .468 on-base percentage because he has walked 31 times. Line drive towards center field. It'll fall for a base hit. Waiting for a while to see if it fell was Connor Rule. Still has enough time to come in and score. Moving up to third, Nick Burnick. RBI single, Christian Deaton.
Now up to bat, the first baseman, number 30, Ben Brookover.
So on a 1-1 pitch, Christian Deaton delivers. Jammers up by a score of 6-2 now. And Ben Brookover at the plate with a runner at third and Burnick, and Deaton down at first with serious speed. Everything comes to a halt there. First baseman Webb Little is going to hold Deaton on at first. Toss over, and Deaton dives back in. Ben Brookover yet to see a pitch from Ryan Greco. His first time to see Greco this afternoon, and Ben on the afternoon is 0 for 3. Overdue, I'd say. First pitch to him is high, ball 1. Want to know the count? Ben Brookover, when playing here at Russell Lee Dietrich Jr. Park, coming into the game with a .282 average. He hasn't helped that out much this afternoon. Cut and a miss. Counts even at 1 on Ben. Ben Brookover on the season against right-handed pitching is hitting .333. He likes the lefties. He's hitting .347 against them. The count is 1-1 here. The old fake to third, look to first. Deaton wasn't that far off the bag, so Ryan Greco does not make a throw. Bottom of the 8th inning, Jammers up by a score of 6-2. 1-1 the count, and the pitch from Greco. Right down the middle, taken by Ben. The count now 1-2. Skylar Valentine on deck. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Another toss over to first. Deaton back safely. And all activity has ceased in the Flames bullpen. So it'll be Greco's to finish out here in the bottom of the 8th. Tying Ben up inside. He hits it off the bat handle, and it goes over toward the first base bleachers, bounces out of there, and fielded by a young man who has the look what I found look on his face. Count still 1-2 on Ben. One ball, 2 strikes. Jammers first baseman Ben Brookover. Another trip to the All-Star game this year. And now Greco takes too long. Ben will step out, take a practice swing, and step back in. Greco, the tall righty on the hill for the Flames, and seems to be having trouble with the signs from Adam Gallagher, so Gallagher will go out and try to straighten him out. Quick conversation. Wind direction has shifted just a bit, going from left toward right now. Was coming in for a while. Caught and a miss, strike 3. Ben Brookover strikes out. And for Ben, as I say, not the best afternoon. 3rd time he's struck out today. Skylar Valentine will step to the plate. Skylar at the plate for a 5th trip in the previous 4. Reached on a walk, hit by a pitch, and scored in the 7th. Toss over to first to send Deaton back. Also reached on a fielder's choice in the third and hit a fly ball out to Kyle Gallagher, second out of the fifth inning. Hits one high in the air, deep to left, going back, landing. He'll have room, and he'll make the catch to retire the side. For the Jammers in their half of the eighth, they add another run of insurance, 1 run. They do that on a couple of hits, no errors for the Onondaga Flames, and we had a couple runners left on base. We have completed 8 at Russell D. Dietrich Jr. Park. Colin Johnston will try to bring it home and stick her in the old mason jar when we come back. The score at the end of 8, Jammers 6, Flames 2 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Penswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Penswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Penswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Penswood.net Classifieds has it. Penswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally.
Chances are there'll never be an emergency ever again. But just in case, let's talk about a plan.
Okay.
Who is going to grab the go bag?
What's a go bag? It is a bag we do not have that is filled with things we really, really need in an emergency.
Guess we won't have to worry about it then.
Well, this is great. I am so glad that we don't have a plan.
I know.
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency, who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Back at Russell Lee Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, New York, the Jammers trying to record their 30th win of the 2017 season, leading 6-2 into the top of the ninth, and Colin Johnston on the hill with the first pitch to the catcher, Adam Gallagher. Adam didn't start the game but came in to pinch hit in the eighth, was at the plate, and then Stephen Bennett was caught stealing. This is a grounder. Over for it. Nick Burnick gobbles it up and throws to Ben Brookover in plenty of time to get Adam Gallagher. One up, one down. Onondaga Flames down to their last 2 outs here in the top of the ninth inning. And another pinch hitter comes in, Carson Negretti. Another guy from the Zags. Comes from Lake Forest. He's a freshman out there at Gonzaga. Finished up his freshman season. And the first pitch to him is strike one. No balls and 1 strike. Nobody aboard, 1 out. Sharp shot right into the glove of Chris Estrada. Throws to Ben Brookover, retiring Negretti. 2 up, 2 down. Colin Johnston looking good, has only 1 more out to get.
Back up the back of the Flames, the DH number 6, Colin Bavard.
Back around to the top of the order, and Colin Bavard. Bavard at the plate for a 5th time. He's 1 for 3 to this point. He walked back in the 5th, tripled and scored in the 7th when the Flames tied it up. First pitch from Johnston was a strike. The next one outside and escapes the home plate area and rolls back to a point where Sam Little picks it up and tosses it back over to the Jammers. The next pitch is outside for a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count on Colin Bavard. 2 out, nobody aboard. Jammers up 6-2. Colin Johnston's 2-1 pitch must have been a bit high because that was over the middle of the plate. It's ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike. And the 3-1 from Colin Johnston's fouled back by Colin Bavard. The count is now full at 3-2. Bavard's walk came on a 3-1 pitch back in the 5th. Count here, 3-2. 2 out, nobody aboard the pitch. Johnston misses outside low, ball 4. Bavard draws a 2-out walk, and right fielder Sam Little will step to the plate.
Oh, this is not a safe situation.
Sam Little is 2 for 4 on the afternoon. Singled in the first, singled and scored in the third. Grounded out to Bernick in the fifth and hit a fly ball out to Jimmy Standahar in the seventh. First pitch to him is strike one. No balls, 1 strike. No balls, 1 strike. Rip just foul down the first base line. That was destined for extra bases, but Sam Little got around on it, and it ends up being a very, very noisy strike down the first base line. Tyler Rourke, who started at third, goes down to retrieve that up against the wall. Chopper to Alex O'Donnell, wins the race to the bag at second. That'll do it for the Onondaga Flames in this afternoon's game. No runs, no hits, no errors, a runner left. The final score this afternoon, the Jamestown Jammers 6, the Onondaga Flames 2. The Jammers win 2 in a row and get a well-deserved day off coming tomorrow. Jamestown Jammers tied things up in the bottom of the third. Flames took the lead 1-0 in the top half of the inning. Jammers tied it at 1. Jammers then took the lead at 2-1 with a run in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Chris Valamont went 6. Nolan Hunt came in and gave up the tying run, but then the Jammers corrected that situation with a 3-run outburst in the bottom of the 7th, adding a little insurance there in the bottom of the 8th, and walk away this afternoon with a 6-2 win. 6 runs, 8 hits, an error for the Jammers, 2 runs, 7 hits, and an error for the Onondaga Flames. Jamestown Jammers with the win. Their record increases now to 30-13. The Onondaga Flames fall to 18-23. Time of this afternoon's game, 2 hours, 43 minutes. Pretty tidy ball game wrapped up for you. Time to stick this one in the mason jar and save it for a snowy day when the toast pops up and you want some jam. That's what you do with it, stick it in the old mason jar. That'll do it for this afternoon's broadcast from Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park. For Anthony Barone, Hayden Carter, Scotty James, and the rest of the Jamestown Jammers, and all the crew that make these games here at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park so much fun, Dave Shannon saying good night, everybody. Thanks for listening to this afternoon's game and watching on YouTube.